app.
An hour from now, we hear from the Secret Service. Lisa Brady, Fox News. A briefing scheduled on the Trump assassination attempt days after the acting director acknowledged security failures at a Senate hearing. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley says he has since heard from a whistleblower raising more concern about the security planning.
According to a series of allegations shared by the lawmaker who says he's been told Secret Service Acting Director Ronald Rowe made cuts to the agency's counter-surveillance division, which includes agents responsible for threat assessments. The whistleblower claims none of these specific agents were at the rally, nor was an evaluation of the rally site done before the event.
Fox's CB Cotton in Butler, Pennsylvania. A new law is proposed in memory of a 12-year-old Texas girl believed to have been sexually assaulted and killed by two men who were in the U.S. illegally. The proposal is aimed at enforcing detention and tracking of undocumented migrants.
The Justice for Jocelyn Act, if passed, would crack down on the Department of Homeland Security's Alternative to Detention program by requiring the DHS secretary to exhaust all efforts to keep those in the country illegally in DHS custody. Jocelyn's mother, Alexis Nungary, spoke in support of the legislation on Friday.
I refuse to let Jocelyn's memory fade, and I refuse to let her voice go unheard. I'm her voice now, so I will now never stop fighting for justice to be served for her.
Jocelyn's body was found on June 17th in Houston. Two Venezuelan nationals who were in the U.S. illegally are charged with capital murder in the case.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The jobs report sparks a sell-off on Wall Street after a bigger slowdown than expected. 114,000 jobs created in July, fueling concern about the Fed's decision this week not to make a rate cut yet. Right now, the Dow's down 809. America's listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah.
Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites.
But I suppose they taste blah.
Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast. Sunny to partly cloudy. Looks like a very nice afternoon. High today 86. Clear tonight, humid, low 72. And then sunny and warm tomorrow, the high at 91. On Sunday, mostly sunny with a high 96. And then mostly sunny, a hot day on Monday, the high 97. Partly sunny Tuesday, high 100. I'm Steve Williams for 97.1 FM Talk.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the Protecting Your Retirement Educational event, Tuesday, August 6th. It's at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Seats are limited, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned how a major market correction will affect your retirement? Would you like to have a personalized, structured income plan that shows you the monthly income you'll receive in retirement and how to never outlive it?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, August 6th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
There's Mike Kehoe's campaign bus that's owned by a Chinese lobbyist. Swampy Kehoe is hitching a ride after voting 4 times to sell Missouri farmland to China. Luckily, Trump-endorsed conservative Jay Ashcroft is tough on China. He led the charge to stop China from buying our farms. Call and thank Ashcroft for being China's worst enemy. 573-751-4936. Paid for by Stand for U.S. PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUS.com.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. There is so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer and thousands of wines. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
His quest to build a vanity project called The Wall. This is irresponsible. It's the height of irresponsibility for the commander-in-chief to suggest that we have to build a wall across our southern border because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country. It couldn't be farther from the truth.
Vintage Kamala, 2019. What a fine bottle that is.
Sounds kind of stupid now to me.
I'm offended that you used the word kinda. Sounds incredibly stupid. There are so many of these. I could do a whole show on these, but nobody would listen. You'd be like, we got the point.
It's weird because the point with her, Kilmeade makes this point a lot too, is that she never really has anything you can pin her down on because she just says everything all the time.
She's like liquid.
Yeah.
You pin her down and she just moves. Just in that spot.
She's the blob.
That's probably like wrong to say or something. I don't know. Here's another one. Listen to this one. This is our Breakfast Club
legalizing
one.
weed.
That's not true.
I know.
and look, I joke about it, half joking. Half my family's from Jamaica. Are you kidding me?
You ever smoked?
I have.
Okay.
And I inhale. I did inhale.
What a weird thing. There's more, but what a weird thing to say. I do smoke and I inhaled. Everybody hear that? I inhaled the marijuana.
It's like that scene from Robin Hood Men in Tights. I, unlike some other presidents, inhaled the marijuana.
It's just so obviously pandery.
Uh-huh.
You don't. Well, anyway.
It's real hysterical for the former attorney general of that state to talk about doing something illegal, laughing about it, giggling about it, and trying to get some traction for it. Among the people that were upset by it, her dad, Donald Harris, from Jamaica, an economics professor at Stanford University, says this: "My dear departed grandmothers, as well as my deceased parents, must be turning in their grave right now to see their family's name, reputation, and proud Jamaican identity being connected in any way, jokingly or not, with the fraudulent stereotype of pot-smoking, joy-seeking, and in pursuit of identity politics. Man, what a blast at his daughter who wants to be the next president.
No kidding. He added, and he had sent this statement to Jamaica Global Online. He said, speaking for myself and my immediate Jamaican family, we wish to categorically disassociate ourselves from this travesty.
You know, like one of the most common things that I say to my family, I've even said it to you guys, like, my goal is just not to embarrass the family.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. And it was an embarrassment to the family. When your dad, a professor at Stanford's like, point of order. I have to say, no, none of that. We want to completely disassociate it.
Yeah, that wasn't just a, no, that's not who we are. That was a written op-ed into a newspaper seeking to, quote, categorically disassociate themselves from it. It's pretty extreme.
I'm just going through all of these different clips that I have right now. This clip, I almost want to play the video, but we'll just play the clip for right now. We might circle back, one might say, to this later on in the show. But it was so incredibly weird to watch when the Russian prisoners finally made it home last night. Joe Biden is there. Kamala Harris is there. Joe Biden is at most there.
Mm-hmm.
He was present. And he's standing there, and Kamala Harris is, it's got to be a very awkward position for Kamala to be in, because she can't overshadow him in the sense that people question that he's still permitted to be the president of the United States, because if you know much about the 25th Amendment, the cabinet can initiate that, or the vice president can initiate that. But the vice president's role in guarding the office of the president from a president who is incapable is pretty substantial. And so she's got to not overshadow him, but she also has to look presidential everywhere she goes. So how do you do this? Especially when the president of the United States is just standing there staring, not doing much. So they're asked about this. Kamala Harris is going to say what I'm about to play for you here. But the best part of the whole thing was Joe Biden went and got on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
He went and got on the plane. He starts, like, they kind of look like they're wrapping it up. If there's a better explanation for this than what it looks like, somebody tell me, and I will correct the record lickety-split, because it's incredibly sad to watch it. He just kind of starts to shuffle, and he goes up the short stairs to this plane that just brought these prisoners back from Russia. They went to Turkey and then wherever. And he just goes up the stairs and disappears. Nobody follows him.
Yeah.
Nobody is receiving him. Everybody is looking around, because you have to think in that moment. And listen, politics is optics. Everything is optics. When Joe Biden was standing on the front of that stage with Jimmy Kimmel and Barack Obama, and he wasn't moving, they had to choose how to get to point B from point A without optically creating a problem. They know that stuff. Jimmy Kimmel, he gets it. He's a performer. He's on stage. That's what he does. Barack Obama is a politician. They are the best performers. And the best performers win the elections, because they're able to sell to you an idea that you see yourself in and want more of. That doesn't mean it's deceitful. It certainly can be. But you have to perform in order to be a good politician. You have to be able to sell something that people want to be a part of. And Barack Obama is tops at it, which is why you could go back to right after this happened. I think that Joe Biden put his hand on I think Barack Obama put his hand on Joe Biden's back intentionally. I think he held his arm, guided him away intentionally. I think that was purposeful. The only other alternative is there was no other way to get Joe Biden off the stage. It was the only thing you could do. And the optics, be darned. So Joe Biden, at this reception for these prisoners, now on American soil, ironic and weird to me that when they get off the plane, the first people who they have to greet is the president and the vice president, and not their families.
Yeah.
I would prioritize the embrace of the families. But that's not how this went. It was president and vice president that received them, and then they went to their families. So they're standing there, they're doing their thing, and then all of a sudden Joe Biden wanders up into the plane. And you can tell when you watch the video, everyone's like, do we go get him? If we go get him, what does that look like? All of the cameras are here. You can't go retrieve him. You just got to assume that he was checking things out and making sure everything was okay. So eventually he comes back down. There's one point where Kamala Harris, he goes up to the stage. Everyone's kind of calmly watching him. And then you've done this before around other people where you're like trying to make eye contact with the other person in the room who's thinking the same thing you're thinking. And you just kind of like look over and you're like, and then you tilt your head and the other person tilts their head. And then you realize we see the same thing here. And then they wait and Kamala Harris kind of turns around and looks slowly. And then she comes back and then eventually Joe Biden wanders off the plane. That was after Kamala Harris gave us this eloquent set of words.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
Lots of words. She repeats the words and then she describes the words that she's repeated. That's how she does it. It doesn't make much sense, but that's what she does on the regular. I don't think that she's going to be able to pull this off for the next 95 days. I don't think she can do it because people see through it. People are going to vote for Kamala Harris if they really don't want Donald Trump to be the president. Done. It's in the bag. Don't even have to worry about that. I think more people are going to stomach voting for Kamala Harris than would have stomached voting for Joe Biden, that they feel like it's more of a known quantity to them. They'd be willing to roll the dice with Kamala more than they were willing to roll their dice on Joe Biden. But people are not going to buy this recasting of who Kamala Harris is in those types of words.
Well, she's trying to recast herself and the Democrats, who, again, their party platform centers around power and control. You know who's less free, who has less economic freedom, are working families. They're working harder. They're paying more for everything, about $10,000 more a year because they've declared war on domestic energy production. Kamala Harris was one of the first signers on for the Green New Deal. She was the deciding vote, Laura, on two major pieces of legislation. She didn't just advocate for it. She was the deciding vote as the president of the Senate, as VP, on the Inflation Reduction Act and the American Recovery Act that pumped trillions of dollars, wasteful spending into our economy that has driven high inflation. So it's harder to go on vacation. It's harder to send your kid to school you want to send to. It's harder to get by. It's harder to save. All these things are a result of Democrat policies. And you know who's more free? Criminals. Kamala Harris was AG. She was soft on crime. Since then, she's advocated for defunding the police, abolishing ICE. Criminals and illegal immigrants are more free, but working families are stuck with the price tag.
Eric Schmidt is such a fantastic senator because when he's saying this, it's not, I like him, so maybe it's subjective. Okay, fine. I don't hear anger and emotion and hatred when he's saying these very factual things. And I think that translates to people. I think people are looking for not desensitized, but just rational. What are the facts? Somebody just give me the honest facts. And if you look at her time as vice president and how she has been the deciding vote in the Senate, and then if you decide to take a peek on her voting record when she did choose to show up to vote in the United States Senate, it's atrocious if you're a moderate. I mean, yeah, of course. She's a Democrat senator from California. She's from San Francisco. You can't get further from conservative ideals than a San Francisco Democrat. But she is way out of sight for anybody in this country who's moderate, and she is way out of sight for anybody in this country who wants less government intervention in their life, more freedom, less government intervention in your wallet, higher expenses with taxes. You're going to get that with Kamala Harris. There is not a government program that she is not interested in trying with your money. So she is going to try to be the non-Trump, non-Joe Biden darling as long as she can. And I don't think
Yeah,
she's
I
going
hope
to
she
get
keeps
away.
talking about that, actually. And she's going to avoid interviews as long as she can. They're going to try to hide her like they hid Joe Biden in 2020. But I would love for this race to be about, if the media lets it, to be about the last, Trump's 4 years and then the Biden-Harris 4 years, because we had a secure border. We were energy dominant. We weren't, the world wasn't on fire abroad. People were making more money. Every racial, ethnic group you could think of was doing much better. So I hope that's what this race is all about.
Same. The YouTube live chat poll for today, this is what I want to know from you. Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? Is her race important in the presidential race? Yes or no? We certainly heard Donald Trump's comments on this at the Black Journalists Convention. This is what he had to say.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
I mean, there's the point of what he's saying, and then there's just so much more there. Donald Trump talked about it. He didn't bring it up. It was the first thing they asked him, was a race question, and then bringing it into Kamala Harris. So our poll question is, I don't want you to look at this like, is her race an important topic? Like, this isn't a, do you support Donald Trump's comments, so to speak. Is the topic of her race? Yes, she's Indian. As I understand, wouldn't you say she's black?
I've always
she's part black.
Assumed that she identified as both Indian and black.
Isn't that a pretty usual thing to do in the melting pot of the United States of America, to be both, like to be multiple things?
Yeah, I didn't really think that was much of a question.
It is now.
Until whatever it was Tuesday.
The difference is, as I said yesterday and I've said before in the show, the difference is me saying my grandma's a quarter Australian and being like, oh, yeah, I'm Australian. I don't start calling cookies biscuits when I'm around Australian people to be like, I'm one of you.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of all the things that I know that translate, and that's the main one. And g'day, mate. I think the problem is, and Donald Trump's point is, not at all what her race is. It's how she uses it to play an audience. And that's his allegation. Maybe you agree with that. Maybe you don't agree with that. But I'm curious if you think that Kamala Harris's race is an important topic today, in the next 95 days, over the course of this presidential race. Now, I'm going to open up the phones. We don't do this a lot, but I like to give you guys the opportunity to call in, because the question I have for you is, how do you assess where we are right now? We've just entered August. How do you assess the candidates and their position right now to become the president of the United States? Yesterday, we asked you if you thought Kamala Harris could win. We had close to 350 votes in the poll yesterday, and I think 72% of you said, yeah, she can absolutely win. So you know that you have two viable candidates right now trying to earn your vote in November. How do you feel about the way Kamala is running her race? Do you think she's doing well? Do you think that she's gaining? How do you feel about how Donald Trump is running his race right now? You can call us, pick one of the candidates, and assess what they're doing. How would you have them do it differently? What are they doing that you love? We want to hear from you. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. You call us, and let's assess the state of the campaign right now since we're in August. And we'll take your phone calls when we come back. We always enjoy doing this and hearing what you all have to say. A lot of times you kind of make us think in a different way than we had been before. 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
With my head up in outer space, I know I'll be A-OK.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I see trouble come my way. I be making
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
A-OK. I know I'll be A-OK. Hey, little lady,
about Stewart's American Mortgage. I just got a note from him here today, and he said that rates are coming down. Might be a really smart time to reach out to Stewie and talk about a bagel loan refinance. If you've purchased a home since rates have been sky high, did you know that you can refinance that mortgage? I mean, that would have been very recently, I would assume, in the last, 18 months or so, within that amount of time, maybe 2 years. You can refinance that mortgage, lock in a much lower rate, and it doesn't cost you anything when you use the bagel loan because you don't pay any closing costs. The amount of interest that this can save you over the length of that mortgage is astronomical, and it's a phone call away. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Call Stewie and say, Annie said something about being able to lock in a lower rate on a refinance, and I don't want to pay any closing costs. What can you tell me? He'll walk you through the whole thing, and he is lightning speed when it comes to closing if you're looking to do it very quickly. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
As President Trump's trusted attorney, Missouri's Will Scharf beat the lawfare liberals at their own game, delivering a major victory for Trump at the Supreme Court. He'll win for Missouri, too. Scharf's a rule of law conservative, tough on crime, backs the blue. Conservative Will Scharf, warrior for Trump, winner for Missouri Attorney General. Because Missouri's lost enough with liberal Andrew Bailey. As a prosecutor, Bailey went easy on a violent repeat felon with a long rap sheet, including shooting up a police car. Yet Bailey charged him with mere misdemeanors when he struck again, leading to a plea deal that cut him loose within months. Bailey slapped a violent felon on the wrist, the same wrist he allegedly used to shoot a cop. Buried last year, mourned by loved ones wearing black because Bailey betrayed the blue. He'll betray Missouri, too. Defend Missouri PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 471-671-2291.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Missouri, it's time to vote. The Missouri primary is Tuesday, and early voting is happening now. Make your voice heard. Cast your vote in the Missouri primary. Democracy 2024. It's happening now on 97.1 FM Dog. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
The list goes on and on. It's 9 to 5 the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. One, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good Lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jay.
It's interesting. If people want to save TikTok, they have to vote for me. If they don't want to save TikTok, well, let's see what happens. But China doesn't want me to win, obviously, because I was kicking China's ass. Nobody ever beat China. I took hundreds of billions of dollars out of China. I took contracts away from China. I took the phone system away from China going to Italy and to other countries. China will do everything they can. And it's one of the things that's really a little bit nerve-wracking. They are putting the full force. They don't want me. They want to continue to rip off America.
There's a message. If you want to save TikTok, you have to vote for Donald Trump. There are votes there. You just got to make people understand why.
He just always surprises me with these random things he pulls out. I never would have expected him to say, I'm going to be your TikTok candidate.
Do you know why, though? It's because he understands it. He's not waiting for someone to feed him these things.
Yeah.
Which Kamala Harris is only getting fed things. Mm-hmm. We are asking you right now to grade or assess or advise the campaigns of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, the presumptive nominee. But I'm more confident that Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee than that she's not. But I am waiting, and I've said this forever, I'm waiting till the end of the convention till we have an actual nominee. 314-241-9797. Call us, and you can get on the air and quickly assess what you think about the campaigns and maybe what you would do differently. 314-241-9797. Let's start with Joe. Joe, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So far, I think the Harris campaign is doing a good job, but they can only hide her for so long and do so many, real easy appearances where she can get up on stage and come across with a real positive message, and at the same time change some of her prior statements and prior positions. I think what Trump needs to do, the Trump campaign needs to do, is focus on how tough of a prosecutor she was and how bad San Francisco is. I have friends that have moved out of San Francisco because of literally they couldn't go from their multi-million-dollar condominium to their grocery store without walking through a homeless encampment.
Ugh.
So, San Francisco is literally, and this is right by Ghirardelli Square.
Yeah.
It is bad. The San Francisco's not what it used to be, unfortunately, and I love going to San Francisco.
I appreciate Joe, you're keying in on something really important here. Thank you for the phone call about Kamala Harris and San Francisco. That's the campaign. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows the San Francisco story. And, it's one thing to talk about California Democrats. You hone in on San Francisco. She's a San Francisco Democrat. That is the solution in my mind to making sure that people understand here are the things that Donald Trump wants to do. Here is where Kamala Harris comes from. And here is, Exhibit A, B, C, D, all the way through the alphabet of ways that she's tried to bring San Francisco to your doorstep over and over and over again. Let's get to Linda's call here. If you guys want to join us, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Linda, thank you for calling the show. What do you think?
Hi, Annie.
Hello.
I think Kamala Harris is really proud that she inhales all the time, and I think she's still inhaling. She was on late night TV during the 2020 debates, and Tulsi Gabbard tore up on stage because her prosecution record, she was prosecuting people for that same thing and leaving them in longer than their terms.
Yeah. That is very true. And that clip, when it comes back up again and again, every time you watch it and you watch Tulsi Gabbard calmly, effectively slice and dice Kamala Harris's record on that specific thing. That issue, her job as Attorney General, where she was locking people up for things that she'd bragged about doing in a pandering moment with the Breakfast Club, that does not sit well with people.
No, this is the callers are hitting really good points here. These are things you really can show in a TV ad. You can talk about. I mean, you talk about San Francisco. Unless you are from San Francisco and you have some sort of past view of it, your view of it right now is dirty. It's drugs. It's homeless.
What's the number one thing you think about when you think about San Francisco?
That I think about people pooping on the sidewalk.
Poop on the street.
Yeah.
I was gonna say poop map.
Poop on the street. The poop map that Ron DeSantis pulled out of his jacket when he was debating Gavin Newsom. He's like, here's where the poop is.
And that was so effective. And we talked about it in terms of Gavin Newsom versus DeSantis, but we haven't with Kamala Harris versus Trump.
Not as much as we should. Because it's accurate. I mean, it's not like a good smear, to use a word. It's accurate. It's the future, if that's what you choose to accept in this election.
Yeah, it's not a good smear. It's a very good log.
314-241-9797. The next caller gets to have Ryan Wiggins' seat in the studio. Get out of here. Oh, I'm just kidding. Let's go to Marcellus. Marcellus, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about these campaigns?
Well, I just want to say this. I am a black male. I'm voting for Trump no matter what. However, I do have some brethren that I'm trying to move in that direction. However, they're a little turned off about his bombastic way of speaking, and he tends to always only include himself in his accomplishments. Now, we all know that everything that Trump accomplished that was good for the economy in his first administration, he didn't do that alone.
Yeah.
But when he's challenged, he tends to say I, and we know it's not I. And my wife can tell you that. I didn't get where I'm at because I did it all on my own. I had someone by my side that supported me. So he needs to include his group of advisors. And no matter what we see or hear in the media, we're going to be challenged in every way because the Democrats have the media in their pocket. So the misinformation and things of that nature is going to be more prevalent.
Marcellus, you seem really confident in the reason you're voting for Trump, and what you seem to have a little trepidation about is moving your friends past the selfish, kind of egotistical reputation that Donald Trump has. Are your friends default Kamala Harris voters? Are they default going to go to the polls to vote for Harris, and you're trying to get them to switch to Trump? Do they support Harris?
No, they don't necessarily support Harris because the way I'm trying to move them is we need to think about our children. Right now, we're going to go through some trials and tribulations as we get older, but we need to look ahead. And I think the Harris, this is how I'm selling them, I think the Harris administration, if they were to get in office, would just make it worse for my babies and my grandkids.
What part about the future of a Harris presidency bothers you about how it will affect your kids?
Well, I think right now we're trying to fight toward getting religion put back in schools. We're trying to get back into communities, more or less, having churches and communities for people to more or less understand each other on a human, as human beings, and the economy. I would like my grandkids to be able to own a house,
yes,
or go to college and to more or less whatever degree program they choose to pursue, they can get a job in that,
yes,
sector. But I'm not saying anything against botanists or what have you. I'm sure there's something out there for you, but some of these colleges are now coming up with things that make really no sense.
Marcellus, I want you to recommend to your friends to listen to the show and give me a heads up when they're going to do it. We'll do a segment just for them. How's that sound?
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
Yeah, you can go to andyfryshow.com and send me an email on the contact thing there, and maybe we can set something up. I think that would be fun. Thank you for calling the show.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy.
Yep. The first thing that he tells us is that he's a black man voting for Donald Trump. That's happening. And then he tells us about the things that are important to his future. They're things that are important to everybody's future.
Exactly.
There's no like category of issues that are specifically important to him. It's the American dream to be able to do the things that he's saying and to know that when you look forward to your grandchildren and the America that they're going to experience, that it is what you got to experience and better. There's no race associated with any of that.
Which is great.
Yes.
I mean, it's exactly what we need to be voting on.
We're going to take a couple more phone calls here. Let's go with Caleb. Caleb, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Real quick, what are your thoughts on one or the other campaigns, Harris and Trump?
Hey, good afternoon. I agree with the last caller. He's a little bombastic. I think he needs to Trump. I'm speaking of.
Yeah, we got you. Marcellus is going, hey!
That. I think he gets himself in a lot of trouble. How off the cuff he is, but that's one of the reasons that I really like him.
It's that
is
double-edged
that he
sword.
doesn't go off of. Say again.
It's that double-edged sword where you kind of, the good
Right.
and the bad, it's all in one thing. You can't really separate them.
Right, he goes off of his heart. He's not reading off of a team written paper of a focused group idea. But the left tends to focus in on the little micro instances where he gets himself in trouble. Whereas anybody in life will get themselves in trouble if they speak from the mind if you just segment it down to a 2-second clip. But the whole context of the idea is strong in what ultimately most Republicans are voting for.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And I appreciate you adding to that conversation there that Marcellus started, because the bombastic nature is part of him being his own man. And that's, when you have the super polished, like, I just want somebody who's, really professional and really polished. I mean, in fact, that is an act. It doesn't mean it's a lie. Doesn't mean it's a deception inherently. But the super polished nature of it is part of a performance. And Trump just does it a little bit differently. Kara, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about these two races as we enter here in August?
Well, I think that Trump needs to start calling Kamala the chameleon.
Yeah.
Because she changes with every person you talk to, every district, everywhere she goes. She flip-flops and changes around. And Trump is the real thing. He will tell you like it is. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. He's going to tell you like it is.
Yeah.
And she's just flip-flopping everything.
She's whoever you need her to be in that moment at that time. And people will see through that. One more call before we go to a break here. John, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think?
Yeah, Annie, I'm concerned because I believe that she's going to get a lot of votes just because of her skin color.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not convinced that. Well, as a matter of fact, I know she can't do the job, but she's going to get a lot of votes just because of her skin color, and she's going to play that very heavy in the African American community. I'm African American myself, but I cannot see myself voting for Kamala Harris.
What is it about her that you're not interested in supporting?
I'm not interested in supporting her flip-flopping. I'm not interested in supporting her in any direction because she says whatever she needs to say to try to convince people to get the votes. This lady she's not truthful. She's not truthful at all. She watched Biden go down the drain and said nothing. Look at her record. Look at her record. I would just invite people to look at her record when she was Attorney General there in San Diego and see how many African American people, some true, did the wrong thing and they had to go to jail. But she put more African American men in jail than any other attorney general in the history of that city.
John, I want to ask you. So you identified yourself as a black male, and I want to know if when you hear Donald Trump talking, he went to that black journalist convention, was sitting there, and it was a hostile situation, and of course, he met the hostility that was on that stage with his own hostility. That's what the guy does. I don't even know. I'm a white woman, and I want to talk about these issues, and I want to, talk about the black vote, but I think it's kind of pandery to talk about the black vote. Like, you would vote like a monolith. You're obviously saying yourself that there are black people who are going to vote for her based on her skin color, but you yourself as a black man aren't. What do you want to encourage people to understand about the complication of identity politics, especially as they apply to this race?
When you look at the country, the state of the country today, everybody should ask themselves a question. Who's going to better serve me and my family? When you look at the 8 years Barack Obama was in office, nothing was accomplished for African Americans. Nothing that you can't even shake a stick at it. When you look at Joe Biden, nothing was accomplished. When you look at the statistics of what happened the 4 years of Trump administration, African Americans, Hispanic, Asian, white, everybody was on the come up. And that's what we need to do. We need to choose somebody, regardless. And I know Trump is gosh, he's a lot of things that he says, I cringe. But he's met hostilely because of he's a white man. He's at this black journalism thing, and the media has painted him as being somebody who is prejudiced. Kamala Harris will be the first one to say he's racist. He did the same thing to Joe Biden. I would encourage African American, whites, Hispanics, look at the record. Don't just look at a person's skin color. Look at the record and make your decisions according to the record rather than skin color. And that will turn this country around.
Ryan, John's going to take your chair.
John, you want to come in studio for the rest of the show?
John, you're my favorite, and I appreciate you. You speak so much common sense.
I will be there. I will be there in about 15 minutes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm going to take off.
But we've got to. I mean, we've got to stop. We've got to stop voting for a person just because of their skin color.
Yes.
We've got to look at what's going to benefit your family. You know, I'm looking, and I hate to keep going on, but I'm listening to all of the politics. I'm listening to the politics playing out in the St. Louis area. All I'm hearing is woman's right to choose, fighting for abortion, fighting for this. You know, wait a minute. Is that the only thing you got to campaign on? Is that abortion? Where is our integrity? Because every woman that's getting pregnant and having an abortion is not being raped.
Yeah, you can have my chair too. Hey, John, I don't know if you feel comfortable doing this, but I'm going to ask you to, if you would go to AnnieFryshow.com and send an email to the contact thing. I would like to I would like to talk to you more. And I'm just thinking here,
sure.
Like, what if we had a John and Marcellus panel and they came in for an hour and we just talked about this stuff in studio? John, would you be interested in doing that?
I would love it.
All right. Well, get in contact with us so we can get in contact with you. And I really appreciate your common sense approach to this. And I really am very incredibly grateful that you listen to the show. Thank you for being out there. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, Brad, you're going to produce the show, and John's going to be here in 15 minutes.
I mean, come on. Why don't we vote on policies? Is what both of those were. I mean, actually, everybody who called was saying that. Why are we looking so much at personalities and outward characteristics and not voting on the policies of people who we've seen how they govern?
If you like that idea of us having John and Marcellus, of course, if they're listening and they can get in contact with us. Would you like to have those kind of listener panels? I think that would be an incredible thing to do, where maybe people can call in even and challenge them while they're in here. We need to get to know them and everything. I hope they're not crazy. They sure don't sound. They sound pretty sane to me.
We'll find out live.
Oh, man. What a great set of calls. Thank you to everybody who reached out. We got to take a quick break. We're going to put be or not the be in 1 o'clock hour.
Yeah, sounds good.
And we'll talk a little bit about this poll. Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? I think John just answered that question. What do you think? Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
It's getting kind of late, but the ladies want some more. Oh my. Good Lord.
Have you ever had a wedding reception in your yard or scheduled a party, birthday party or whatever kind of party at your house, and during the party or a couple, 3 hours before, notice your air conditioner is not working and it is the hottest day of the year? Or have you come home from a vacation and your house is baking? My experience has been that's when it will break. It just happens that way. So if that does happen to you, or again, you don't need to have a party or you don't need to be baked. But if your air conditioner breaks and you need to get the cold air back in your house, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. It's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Conservative Dave Wassinger is the only pro-Trump Republican running for lieutenant governor. Wassinger is the only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. And Wassinger is the only candidate for lieutenant governor with the guts to work with Trump to deport illegals. Wassinger's policy on illegal immigration is simple. Come here legally, or it's adios amigos. Listen to conservative pro-Trump Republican Dave Wassinger.
President Trump is right. Illegals break our laws, steal our jobs, and overwhelm our hospitals. It has to stop. As my lieutenant governor, I'll fight to keep Missouri safe and deport illegals. You come here legally, or it's adios, amigos.
Dave Wassinger, tough on illegal immigration. Dave Wassinger, pro-Trump. Dave Wassinger, pro-life. Vote Dave Wassinger for lieutenant governor. Paid for by Wassinger for Missouri. Henry Charles Poles, treasurer.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in Kansas City. 2 days only at the Westin Crown Center, Saturday and Sunday, August 10th and 11th. Register now at DellHelpMeNow.com. That's DellHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code DEL for a special discount offer. DellHelpMeNow.com. Code DEL.
The Social Security Trust Fund could run out of money in less than 10 years. Discover why this could change when you file for your benefits on Your Retirement Professors, Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK, 97.1 FM Talk.
YouTube live chat poll, is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? Yes or no? Love to see what you think about this. And, of course, leave a comment. It is 12:52. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Focus Marines Foundation is here to help veterans transition from service to civilian life, and we're here to support them. This is Mark Cox inviting you to get involved in this month's Conservatives Care effort by visiting 971talk.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
You hear the rhythm romping, you see the drummer stomping.
And the only reason she's popular now is because Biden was so unpopular. They're just so thankful he's gone. Wait until they get a few moments with her. This is a lot like 1988. Dukakis was sitting in mid-July, 17 points up, right? And then we found out He was weak on crime. He was letting Willie Horton out. Wait till you see her. She's a Soros prosecutor. She's worse. And then we found out, we saw Dukakis in that helmet, unpresidential. Think about the decisions that she's going to make in the process.
Yeah, don't put on a helmet, Kamala. You don't want to do that.
Kamala with the Dukakis reference. That's never good in politics. The YouTube live chat poll for today is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? Yes or no? Ryan, what do you think?
As the question is written, I'm actually going to say yes because it's been made a important topic. It might be the most important topic for those trying to get her elected, that she would be a history maker. I don't want it to be, but I'm going to say yes to this question.
My knee-jerk reaction was initially no, but then the more I thought about it and the more I interacted with people on chat, the more I see that it does matter to a certain group of people that are on the left. This matters.
I'm a no. I'm a heck no, because the people that it matters to, they're decided.
Okay.
And I mean, it's literally on the face. prima facie, whatever. I hear smart legal people say that. Prima facie.
Is that Latin?
Clearly, I don't think what I said is. It's somewhere around that, like Pig Latin. I don't know. There's no depth there. It's on the surface. And that's, I mean, by virtue of looking at Kamala Harris, she is a person of color. A lot of people have made the distinction in the live chat today that she is Jamaican. Jamaican people consider themselves to be black, but they are not African American because they're Jamaican. So, okay. But I mean, like, what is black? Certainly not for me to say. None of it matters. And I don't think, I truly don't believe that people who are moderate, who are the ones who are going to decide this election in a few counties across the country, are leaning in on this issue in any way, shape, or form to decide what they're going to do. They don't care at all. Not at all. Think about how incredible it is that we have progressed that far in this country. The Civil War was not really that long ago in the span of time. And to think that we have gotten to this point, a black man has been the president of the United States. Kamala Harris is a woman of color, and she is the presumptive nominee for the Democrat Party. It doesn't matter at all. I am a emphatic heck no on this. Some people might try to make it that because it's simple, because it's cut and dry. I don't think the diversity gets to have a party. Just one side of the aisle is trying to make it that way. Let's talk more about it when we come back. You go vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business, so the answer is yes. Watch the question. Anything you need, hospitality, personal service, we're upscale, we're a James Hardy company, roofing and siding and gutters, and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
By now, you've heard Adam Schnelting's false attack ads. Don't buy his lies. Adam Schnelting says he opposes the transgender agenda, but he's trying to conceal the truth. Schnelting has received more than $71,000 from liberal trial lawyers. Those same trial lawyers supporting Schnelting also gave over $100,000 to a liberal group that supports men playing girls' sports, supports men using girls' bathrooms, and even supports gender mutilation surgeries for minors. To make matters worse, Adam Schnelting says he supports our gun rights, but he's received thousands from leading anti-gun lawyers that filed a massive lawsuit against gun makers and gun owners. But that's not all. These liberal lawyers don't just fund Adam Schnelting's campaign, their anti-gun lawsuits, or the transgender movement. They've also been leading funders of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and even the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. Adam Schnelting. With friends like that, conservatives just can't trust him. On August 6th, don't forget Adam Schnelting. He's loved by liberals, and he lies like one too.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
At Stifel, we put everything into the success of our advisors so they can put everything into your success. That means more than just building you a portfolio. It means we're invested in you and your future. And it means taking a personalized approach to managing your wealth. That's why Stifel is once again the top-ranked wealth management firm for employee advisor satisfaction. Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
She has the votes. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris just crossing a threshold with enough delegates to secure the Democratic presidential nomination in online voting that continues ahead of this month's convention. Harris says she's honored to be the presumptive nominee while emphasizing it's not official until that voting is finished next week. She still hasn't announced a running mate.
President Biden says he has spoken with Vice President Kamala Harris about her running mate, but did not detail qualities he thinks she should look for.
I'll let her work that out.
Harris is reported to be narrowing down her shortlist that includes Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. The campaign has announced a 5-day swing state trip starting Tuesday, with Harris joined by her VP pick in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. There's renewed fear of recession on Wall Street after a bigger hiring slowdown than expected in July. 114,000 jobs created and the highest unemployment rate in nearly 3 years, 4.3%. Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su telling Fox Business.
It's part of the trend of moving from the really hot growth that we had to a more sustainable, steady economic labor growth.
Right now, the Dow is down 916 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ also plummeting more than 2%. The U.S. plans to help Israel boost its defenses as Iran warns of retaliation for the recent killings of militant leaders.
In terms of what we are doing here at the department is we will stand with Israel in their self-defense.
The Deputy Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh says Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin hasn't decided yet which additional capabilities to send and told Israel's defense chief in a call today that further escalation is not inevitable. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish. I'm just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah. Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast. Sunny to partly cloudy. Looks like a very nice afternoon. High today 86. Clear tonight, humid, low 72. And then sunny and warm tomorrow, the high at 91. On Sunday, mostly sunny with a high 96. And then mostly sunny, a hot day on Monday, the high 97. Partly sunny Tuesday, high 100. I'm Steve Williams for 97.1 FM Talk.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
There's Mike Kehoe's campaign bus that's owned by a Chinese lobbyist. Swampy Kehoe is hitching a ride after voting 4 times to sell Missouri farmland to China. Luckily, Trump-endorsed conservative Jay Ashcroft is tough on China. He led the charge to stop China from buying our farms. Call and thank Ashcroft for being China's worst enemy. 573-751-4936. Paid for by Stand for US PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUS.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Mark Cox here. I've put together my Missouri voter guide just for you. Visit 971talk.com to see it because the future of our state is happening now. Get my voter guide at 971talk.com and go vote.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Gosh, if you didn't get to hear us in the middle of the 12 o'clock hour, we took phone calls. Don't always do that. Gonna probably do that a little bit more here in the election season. If you like that, give us the feedback that you love it, hate it, whatever. Totally open to moving this show in the direction that is most satisfactory to you as a listener. You're the most important person in that equation. But we had a couple of phone calls, all the phone calls. I mean, John was superstar. He should be here any minute to take your spot.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I will just go in my car.
You know, when
listen.
Just really insightful, smart commentary, and in an industry that we're in right now where everything is just like max all the time. You hear common sense, and it's just very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try to get John and Marcellus. They're both black individuals who called in. We're talking about Trump's, I was going to say Trump's race, but by that I mean his campaign.
Yes.
Not his orangeness.
It's it's a little confusing.
Or we're talking about the campaigns for Trump and Harris and letting you all assess them. And we just had some really interesting conversations. And I would like to have a panel with them. With some listeners in here. Two guys call into the show, identified themselves as black. We're both talking about trying to talk to their community about what's going on, and I would like to learn from them.
It's funny because that wasn't really why we opened up the phones. We just opened up the phones.
Yeah.
But we are talking about that in the poll today, kind of in a roundabout way. That first caller, though, was great, too. He was talking about how if you want America to look like San Francisco, these are the people you're supposed to vote for. I thought that was a great point.
And I think the most winning point for Donald Trump to remind people of that being absolutely the truth. I wanted to go through, we're going to do two things in this segment here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about things that people are criticizing Kamala Harris's campaign for, and we're going to discuss as a group if we think, do more of that, or do less of that, or don't do that ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the San Francisco criticism to me is tops, all of it, the whole time. So we have a few lists among the three of us, and we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to get to some things that we missed that Brad wants to highlight in about 7 or 8 minutes. So, Ryan, we'll start with you. Criticisms. Give us one of the criticisms that you see being levied against Kamala Harris, and we'll discuss whether we think it's a good criticism that we should be discussing or not.
Well, we'll just start with the big one. We won't use the word czar, but we will say that she was put in charge of the border under this administration.
Well, those are two things, because y'all know how I feel about wasting oxygen over whether or not she was in fact the border czar. Her connection to our border policy is white on rice. And you can't separate her responsibility at the border and the absolute crisis that we're in right now. It doesn't matter at all if she was actually officially enshrined as she's not going to have her statue in Washington, D.C. one day. It's not going to say border czar under it unless Donald Trump catches his wind of that.
If Donald Trump wins, I'm going to put up a statue, ladies and gentlemen.
One on each border of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Each bordering state.
Put Kamala Harris statues at the border.
Mm-hmm.
She said don't come.
Mm-hmm. With like a speech bubble.
Yeah. Do not come.
And buying t-shirts.
Do not come.
What do you think?
I do think that is effective, but they have to talk about, instead of talking about whether Kamala should be attached to the border, I think that's already established. She's in this administration. Whether she was made in charge of the border or not really doesn't matter. She was a part of the administration that completely opened the border. It's completely porous now. All you have to do is remind people how bad a problem this is. They'll connect the dots.
Her connection to the crisis is important, but you just got to do it in a smart way. Don't dumb it down.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brad?
Okay, so on Ryan's?
Sure, or your own.
Well, that was one of mine. I think that, tying her to the border is important. I'm agreeing with you, though, in that tying her to the title border czar is not. What's happening at the border is infinitely more important than whatever the person in charge of it is called. Whatever she was called, whatever her responsibilities were, she failed in her responsibilities, which is obvious by the evidence of the number of crossings. The number one, my number two one here is the criticism that she is a DEI hire. I think that is absolutely useless. It's just, it doesn't move anybody in the middle. It doesn't convince anybody in the group that you need to convince to vote for Trump, or it doesn't change anybody's mind about her on the other side.
It's also not
vote.
A solvable problem.
Mm-mm.
You can say she's a DEI hire. You can make your case that she is, and then someone can agree with it or disagree with it. But there are few facts that will, it's like an unprovable point. So, I feel like that's a lot of time you could spend on something that at the end is going to rest on people's presuppositions to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. That was a tough one, and I'll throw out another one here because I kind of put this in the same category as that one, and I try to be as couth about this as possible, but the way people talk about it is very uncouth.
Her sexual past.
The way
That's what I have that written down.
I do. Yeah, how she got jobs and things. I don't know that is an issue that the establishment of the right or media
no official person
can talk about.
Should be discussing it at all.
Trump should not touch this. Nobody really in any sort of official position should touch that issue. But that said, the whisper campaign that people have about it when they're just talking to each other, that does have an effect.
You have to compare the understanding that the allegation is that Kamala Harris has slept her way to the top. Now, you can Google that, or maybe you should DuckDuckGo that. I don't know.
Safe search.
She has had relationships with married men in positions of power and benefited from those professionally. She is not the first woman to do that, but it is part of her past. There are a lot of people who have talked about it. Have you seen is it Judge Joe Brown?
I haven't seen this.
I'm not going to play it on the air. I listened to it, and there are a lot of things I watch or listen to, and I'm like, whoa. I'm not putting that on my show, but whoa. There are a lot of accusations out there, and I look at those types of things, and I'm like, well, she was just practicing her sexual freedom. Like, this is something that people should be championing. That's what they make you believe. I don't think that it is an important part of the context of this conversation because her record of what she has done to represent the people, I mean, that's part of her personal life. I would venture to say that the people making really bad decisions in those situations include people other than her. That they would promote somebody or give somebody the position because of a relationship. I'll just put it that way. However, and this is where it's going to become difficult to keep it this way, I don't think that her sexual past should have anything to do with people in an official capacity talking about who should become the president of the United States. If that matters to you, pro or con, as a voter, you absolutely could talk about whatever you want. How have they treated Donald Trump in his sexual past? It's tops for them. When they're talking and criticizing Donald Trump and his fidelity, they have the people on the left. I mean, we talk to them in the chat every freaking day about like the kind of person that Donald Trump is. Would you really like somebody like that to be the president of the United States? Would you really be proud to be associated with him? All of those things flip here. It's even Stevens.
It's amazing that I've never thought about that because that is so 100% true that this is an issue that the left on one hand will celebrate with Kamala or just ignore. With Donald Trump, no, it is front and center, and it is the reason why you, as a moral person, how could you?
But the way they get away with it is they've never held themselves to the same standards that they preclude that Republicans hold everybody else to. And by virtue of supporting Donald Trump, I don't think your premise is correct. Kind of all falls apart. Kind of we're just worried about the future of the country and not what goes on in people's bedrooms, which used to be, even in my lifetime growing up, a really, really key point of the left, but now it's not. Anyway, one that I picked was that she's dumb.
I've got that one.
The idea, God dang it, he ruined it for me. I can't say that phrase anymore without repeating it 6 times in my head and saying it like Joe Biden. Do the no.
No.
Yeah, God. Is Kamala Harris dumb? I think she's gotten pretty far. I think that she has accomplished quite a bit, especially considering that I think that her record sucks. And I think she'd be a disaster for the country because I don't want to, in the middle of the United States of America, live in a place that resembles San Francisco. I'm not interested in it. I don't want San Francisco to come to my doorstep, to my porch, into my kitchen, into my bedroom, into my yard, onto the sidewalks near me. I don't want San Francisco here. But Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States and the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. I don't think she's dumb. I think she's resourceful. And I do not want to underestimate her. And suggesting that she is, I mean, it's very obvious. You can listen to her. She cannot speak in a way that really translates a message quickly concise in a concise way that makes people go, gosh, it's like she's speaking for me. God, I hope not. I don't think she's dumb. I don't think she's the most articulate speaker in the world. Neither is Donald Trump. If you want to accuse a woman of being sexually promiscuous and dumb, boy, are you going to lose a lot of voters. I don't know what her IQ is. I don't need to know. Her policies suck. Full stop.
How about cackle? That's kind of a part of that conversation.
You don't need to identify it for people to know it.
I 100% agree.
Just let people hear it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
When she's laughing, everybody's going, you can't hear this on the radio, but everyone's cringing. You don't need to talk about it.
No, you don't need to say anything.
Cackling Kamala. You don't need to call her that.
You know what you do need to do is continue to challenge her to speak in interviews.
Put her out there.
Let it happen.
Let it
Let it
speak
happen.
for itself.
Yes.
Even if you can't understand it.
Yes, exactly.
How about this one? She was part of the group and maybe one of the main people that hid Biden's decline.
Big issue. Watching her on the tarmac wonder what to do with Wandering Joe. He gets on the plane. It's not his plane. He ain't going anywhere in that plane. I kind of wonder if he wouldn't have gotten off if they'd have been like, we should fly him.
Let's go ahead and get in the plane.
That one's
then.
returning to Russia.
Let's go fly and get some ice cream. No, we sent Biden. Come back. Kamala, you are taking this to lengths. I think it's a big issue because she has had a front row seat. And the question that everybody has right now, and it's a very worthwhile question, is who is running the country? Kamala Harris is one of two things. Coherent or incoherent. And if she's coherent, she certainly can see what we've all seen for this time, which is Joe Biden is not up for the job. So who's doing the job? Why were you okay with it before? And now you're like, I think I should be the president.
I think that's a huge issue. And people want to know. I also don't think it changes anything in the election.
I think not only does she think she should be the next president, but she also is like, but I don't need to be president right now. But she's also the vice president who, if Joe Biden is too bad to run for president, can't actually be president. She is the one that's supposed to invoke the 25th Amendment.
It's a messy.
She's still
messy
part
spot.
of the cover up and still part of covering for it.
I think it's important. I think people need to remind it because everybody gets Joe Biden, except for Joe Biden, sadly. Any more?
What about that? The whole issue about prosecuting drug crime unfairly. There's a lot of angles to that.
You can't be, I feel like I can't be angry that she was prosecuting crime.
Exactly.
We need more of that. But she's incredibly selective in who she chooses to prosecute. You hear, John said it before. The people who she put in jail for a very long time for the exact same thing that she laughed about on the Breakfast Club, that she smoked. Oh, and I inhaled. And everyone's like, oh, you did? Okay. All right. She puts them all in jail for that. They sit there. But then when people are burning down cities, she's asking for money to bail them out of jail. In Kamala Harris's America, you will be prosecuted for the crimes that are politically advantageous for Kamala Harris. That's not a law and order America, and that's what you get with Kamala Harris.
Brad, do you have this one? The defund the police.
That's
slash bailing rioters out of jail.
Yep.
I think, to me, that one is a massive issue. The soft on crime. Look, do you like the way your cities are being run? Because they're going to be run the same, if not worse, under this president. That president will do nothing to solve that problem, while Donald Trump will do something to solve that problem.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Just as a broader one, I have just her history as being very far left on a multitude of topics. So you could say the crime thing, defund the police. She's for court packing. She's suggested she wanted to use an executive order to ban assault weapons. Extremely bad on the economy. All of those things. That her left-wing record, to me, is one that really needs to be hammered home. And it's going to make a huge difference.
Anything else?
That's the most of it.
What's the most important? What's the most advantageous campaign point the Trump campaign can make against Kamala Harris?
I think it might be, it's got to be comparing America, the ideal of nice, safe America, to the idea of what California, San Francisco has become. And that one wasn't even on my list until we started talking about that two segments ago.
That's my top.
I don't know how you communicate a more effective message than that, because the images are everywhere. Homelessness is out of control, no matter where you live. That issue has come home. The immigration issue has come home. I mean, all these things, they kind of mesh together because they're almost like just lawlessness in general. If you want that to continue, here's what you get.
Anything else?
I think it's tying her to the current administration. She is not a new candidate in the sense that she is not. She's been part of this administration, and everything that you've hated about it and everything that was wrong with Joe Biden for the past 4 years, she's part of it. You gotta duct tape her to this administration and not let her run from it.
Worst thing that Trump can harp on? I think it's her sexual history.
I was going to say just her gender or the identity politics stuff. It doesn't matter. Him making it an issue it just doesn't do anything. In the age that we live in, it'll get headlines and it'll just be more like, it's just more Trump being Trump. It's not going to do anything.
All right. Well, I hope you got to have some thoughts on that. We want to listen. We're reading them as they come in, too, for people on the YouTube chat. So if you want to weigh in, we'd love to hear from you. The YouTube live chat poll for today: is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race campaign? Yes or no? This is kind of all what we're talking about today. We want to know what you think. So go to the NFI YouTube channel and vote. Tell us. Think it's a big issue, or a topic, I should say, Kamala Harris's race. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do some Ask Us Anything. If you got questions you want us to answer, it could be about politics, it could be about the news, it could be about but the Diamond Shop is celebrating back to school. I know. Back to school already. The Diamond Shop has 50% off a diamond bracelet sale. This is a fantastic piece to add to your loved one's jewelry wardrobe here. 50% off, and it's just from August 1st to August 10th. So you have about a week to participate in this. And it's the 6 months, same as cash financing there at the Diamond Shop. So hurry in. They're in Clayton, Missouri, and they've been there for quite some time, but they've been in St. Louis since 1910. Did you know that if you sign up online to become a VIP, you can save an extra 10% off most purchases? It's going to be excluded the clearance and the bracelet sale, but there is extra savings that you can enjoy on other things, including 30% off all in-stock jewelry throughout the month of August. But that 50% off diamond bracelets, I'm looking forward to seeing what those look like. If you're interested in shopping in person, visit them in Clayton. If you're interested in shopping online, go to thediamondshop.net.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
This is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right. Seminars Tuesday, August 13th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Wednesday, August 14th at the 4 Points by Sheraton, St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardy siding experts. Picture this: durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Who can Missouri Republicans trust to crack down on illegal immigration and communist China? Not Jay Ashcroft. Jay Ashcroft championed a bill that allowed China to buy Missouri farmland and other property near our military bases. Ashcroft took thousands of dollars of travel from liberal groups, including one that pushed amnesty for illegal immigrants. It gets worse. Jay Ashcroft turned his back on America's veterans and opposed providing vets with any benefits at all, including discounts on hunting licenses and prescription drugs. Jay Ashcroft allowed China to buy our farmland. He vacationed with amnesty-loving liberals, and Ashcroft stiffed America's veterans. There's a better choice. As Missouri's governor, Mike Kehoe will stand with President Trump to crack down on China, secure our border, and honor our veterans. Mike Kehoe is the conservative we can trust.
Cops for Kehoe is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Cops for Kehoe, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379. 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Congressman Jason Smith is back with us.
Monthly, we have lunches of the entire Missouri delegation. And since the entire time Cori Bush has been in office, she's never attended one. She's all about herself, not about the people of St. Louis.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
You have to ask me nicely. Don't make me beg here.
Ask me anything.
Tell me the truth! All right, Fridays we try to answer some of your questions and some of our own fun questions with a little Ask Us Anything. If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can leave a question in the comments, and we just might answer it. Brian, you said you had some questions or a question you wanted to ask?
Based on a conversation we had yesterday, how long could you be alone before you had to go talk to somebody?
Oh, man. It's untested.
Because yesterday we said, oh, could you do it for a day or two? I think we said, yeah, I think we could. But for me, it was after 2 days, I need to talk to somebody, feel like I'm alive.
I mean,
but we never determined what it was for you.
It's different in like during COVID when we were so isolated, you had your family. And I like them.
That doesn't count.
I know.
Alone.
I was never like, I got to be around people, ever. I don't dislike people. It's just, it requires a lot of energy. I don't know. I think I could go a week. Maybe longer.
At a week, you're going, all right, I need to go have coffee with somebody. I want to have a short conversation with my husband, and then I can go another week.
I mean, are we taking into account, like, I would be isolated from my family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're alone.
But, like, in the context of my life. I mean, I wouldn't want to go that long without talking. But that's about my relationships with my family, not my want and genetic need to be around people. My family and people is very different. I wouldn't want to go a day without talking to my kids and my husband.
Well, I think that's your answer then. I think that is what matters, and that's what counts.
What was the topic about yesterday?
How long you could be alone? I don't remember how we got there.
Why were we talking about that yesterday?
But we were.
It was one of the questions about intelligence. How long?
About being in solitude or on your own.
Being comfortable.
I don't think that's the same thing, but it's your question, so I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go any amount of time. I'm talking to my husband right now.
Yeah, I like talking to my wife, so it wouldn't be that long.
Dang. Now I'm stuck at 2 days, and I feel like
I don't know what's so wrong with your family that you're like, I'll take it. But it's a
anything,
completely different question. Like you individually, if you're talking about what it was like before you, I mean, they're your children and your spouse. Why would you be like, I'm cool with any amount of time being away from them?
Oh, I'm fine with a day. A day break from everybody. Then I want to see everybody after that first full day is over. I've had my vacation.
Yeah. Well, I just like my family, so.
Yeah.
Your little smile.
What are you talking about? Brad, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm opening it up right now. It was, sorry. It was, would you rather
My question is, what is your question?
Yeah. Would you rather have everyone know or be capable to read your thoughts, or for everyone you know to have access to your internet history?
You can have my internet history. You'll be so bored.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. Yeah, the internet history is more boring than my thoughts.
First
my
of
thoughts
all,
are all over the place.
My internet history is super boring, but nobody is going to be like, no way can you see what I've been looking at on the internet. No one's going to say that.
Yeah, right. Even if it is.
I mean,
you're not going to go, oh, you can't see my search history.
I think it doesn't come as a surprise that I would say that I have a boring internet search history to the point where if it were really spicy or something like that, I wouldn't be like saying that to you right now.
Yeah, you can't.
So you have no idea.
I have no idea. I think I'd like to know your thoughts right now. Yeah, same thing. Look at my internet history. I don't want you to know what I'm thinking about you.
People would be shocked by how often I click on Real Clear Politics and look at polls. Dang, this guy spends a lot of time looking at crosstabs.
Do you have another question?
I do have one more. Do you currently collect anything?
This is like an every month question.
Have we?
Yes. And this is where you talk about your Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, my Dr. Pepper thing is not going very well, though. I wish it were.
How can it not go well? How can it go bad?
Well, because it's just kind of sitting there. I haven't added to it, nor have I displayed it. It's just in a closet.
It's because collecting things is for children.
Yes, I know, but it's kind of cool to have it. And now I'm like, well, why do I have it? There's no point to have it.
You're coming of age.
I guess so. I still like baseball cards a little bit, but I don't collect them. I have a lot of them.
I mean, I feel like collecting things is for people who have time for hobbies, and I don't live in a period of time where I have much time for hobbies. There's nothing wrong with collecting things. But I would think that like once you retire, you could get back into collecting things. But everybody who I know who's retiring and getting into their senior years is getting rid of everything they own.
Me too.
They're just purging, getting rid of it, don't want to keep it, don't want to store it, don't want to have it.
Yeah, everybody I've ever known who's collected anything. And some people have had very substantial collections of superhero toys. Or I had a friend who was really into Lego stuff. They're just selling it all now. So
why? What do you collect, Brad?
I don't collect anything. My dad would say I collect old cars, but I only have 4 vehicles, so I haven't bought one in a long time.
Okay, thanks.
I don't collect anything.
Okay.
I have a question here from Joe.
Okay.
Joe wants to know, can Ryan twerk?
Can Ryan twerk? The question is, will Ryan twerk?
No. The question is can. It is. I'm reading it right now on the screen.
Yes. The answer is an emphatic yes.
Have you ever, in your lifetime, really given it your all on the dance floor in a twerk?
Okay. Specific to that question, no.
Time
Not
is now.
on the dance floor. But my wife sees it.
Where's John?
If
Get
I'm
John in here.
If I'm in a really good mood, she knows, like, uh-oh, Ryan's twerking. Just because I'm like, uh-oh, something good just happened. And I start doing a twerk because it cracks her up. It's great. It's so shocking. It doesn't come up very often. But when it does, it's really funny. I think, honestly,
now
it's
I'm mad
funny.
at Joe, too. Joe, you got one job, and that's not send this show into this direction.
It's funny because I'm pretty good at it. That's why it's funny.
That's not even possible.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no,
it
it's
is.
not.
He said I'm pretty good at
You're
it.
not. That You're not good at it. I've never seen it. Never gonna see it. You're not good at it.
Look.
No, you're not.
A lot of what you're doing right now, I would call bait. and one thing I don't take is bait.
You are the easiest person to bait in the history of time.
Okay, maybe.
Also, I do not want to see you twerk.
No,
that
you
is
don't.
that is an emphatically truthful statement.
Yeah,
The
because
most-
you would need a fan. You'd have to fan yourself because it is awesome. It's pretty hot. Yeah, it's really good. Like Miley Cyrus would be jealous because it's really good. And I don't have the kind of body that should do it that well. I will say that. That's why it looks so ridiculous. Thanks for the question, though. What do you want? Do you want me to ask the next one? I mean, what are you waiting for here?
You are not a twerker.
Heck yes. No, you're right. I'm not a twerker. But I have mastered the art of twerking.
No, you haven't mastered it.
I
You
have.
have not mastered the art of twerking.
If you were to have seen a twerk and then you put that perfect twerk onto me, you would be shocked and amazed.
That doesn't make sense.
Like if on the internet you go, man, now that's a perfect twerk.
What is a perfect twerk?
And you take that out of the context of like some music video and you put it on me doing it, you'd be, wow, you'd be amazed.
I would never do that.
No, I know you wouldn't. But if you had to, because this is Ask Me Anything, and Joe asked, can Ryan twerk? And now we've gotten 5 minutes out of it.
Dash says we're from the Show Me State. No, we are not. We are from the land of Lincoln, and we will put respect on that name. G-Whip says Ryan is confusing twerk with twerp.
No, I'm not. I'll do it at some sort of remote, like next time we're out.
Yeah, the one that I'm not at.
Lincoln
Go do it
Days or
at a KMOX remote. I'm formulating a plan here.
This is amazing.
You show up to the Dave Glover remote, the next DGS remote, and be like, hey guys, remember me? Got to shoot a video, and then put it on their account. I don't even know if they have a video account.
KMOX does a lot of opening day remote broadcasts. They
the
need to
best
do
time.
they need to do a closing day remote broadcast.
You never know when closing day is.
I know. That's why it would be fun. Because you get to hear it, see a little twerking. Everybody goes home happy.
Thanks, Joe, for the question. Do we have more questions from people? Do we want to take a break and answer more on the other
let's take a
side?
break and then we'll answer.
All right, we're going to do Be or Not the Bee in the 2 o'clock hour at 2:05, so stick around for that. If you have questions that are better than Joe's about Ryan and twerking, stick around, leave a comment on the YouTube channel. We'll get right back to them. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
The Retirement Advisory Group is having an event this Tuesday, and it'll go from the event actually takes place from 6:30 to maybe 7:30. It may be done before then. It is not a lot of your time. You'll be home in time to tune 97.1 in and listen to the election results come in from after you vote. So go vote, and then head over to the Frontenac Hilton on Tuesday, August 6th. I'll be there at 6 o'clock. And it'll start at 6:30. We want to meet you. Mark and Mark will be there, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group. If you're nearing retirement or you're already retired and you're concerned about market volatility and how it might be hurting your retirement accounts, I've been watching the Dow right now on the news talk about volatility. Don't be worried about it if you have the information that fills in those gaps of fear that can set in when you really want to engage in retirement. That's where the Retirement Advisory Group, they show up and they give you the ease of mind that you've been seeking out. This is a free event, and I would love to see you. I'll be there from 6 to 6:30, hoping to meet every single one of you. Seats will fill up, so reserve yours. 314-993-9494 online at retirementkey.com.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in Kansas City. 2 days only at the Westin Crown Center, Saturday and Sunday, August 10th and 11th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code DEL for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code DEL.
Conservative Dave Wassinger is the only pro-Trump Republican running for lieutenant governor. Wassinger is the only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. And Wassinger is the only candidate for lieutenant governor with the guts to work with Trump to deport illegals. Wassinger's policy on illegal immigration is simple. Come here legally, or it's adios amigos. Listen to conservative pro-Trump Republican Dave Wassinger.
President Trump is right. Illegals break our laws, steal our jobs, and overwhelm our hospitals. It has to stop. As my lieutenant governor, I'll fight to keep Missouri safe and deport illegals. You come here legally, or it's adios, amigos.
Dave Wassinger, tough on illegal immigration. Dave Wassinger, pro-Trump. Dave Wassinger, pro-life. Vote Dave Wassinger for lieutenant governor. Paid for by Wassinger for Missouri. Henry Charles Poles, treasurer.
Is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Celebrate the month of August with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119 and take 20% off your air duct cleaning. Call right now, 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day. Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? Yes or no? Let us know by typing in Annie Fry to YouTube, and then the stream will come up, and you can vote right there. 147, Brad.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Missouri, it's time to vote. The Missouri primary is Tuesday, and early voting is happening now. Make your voice heard. Cast your vote in the Missouri primary. Democracy 2024. It's happening now on 97.1 FM Dog. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Wrapping up a little Ask Us Anything. We are asking you on the YouTube live chat poll, is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? Yes or no? Scooter commented and said, regarding our poll question, I believe some voters won't vote for Harris because she is black. Man, I think that we're, I guess, a racist country still. I don't know anybody in my life who is not going to vote for Kamala Harris for that reason.
I don't either.
But I guess Scooter knows those people. He's hanging out with the wrong people. That's
Yeah,
strange.
man, that's a bummer.
Let's get back to Ask Us Anything and answer some more of your questions. You got us? You got some?
Yeah.
Microphone.
Man, I'm all over the place.
He says, oh, dang it.
No, this is the wrong one. This is the one I wanted.
It's very fluid.
What is the strangest thing that you believed as a child?
This is pretty good, though, for our first radio show.
Amazing.
The strangest thing. I thought that sloths were extinct until like 2016.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes. You don't know that story?
No, I don't think I've ever heard this story.
There's still 10% of me that believes that they were extinct and they came back and they told everybody else and just not me. I was watching on YouTube. There's this video. A lot of you have probably seen it. There is a sloth. I think he's trying to like cross the road or something like that.
Yeah, it's super cute.
And this guy goes, and the sloth like slowly turns around and looks at the camera and smiles so big. And I was like, this is really good CGI. I couldn't believe it. I think I said it to my husband. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. This looks real. And he's like, it is real. And I'm like, no, sloths are extinct. And he just sits there and stares at me. And I'm like, they're extinct. And he's like, they're not extinct. And I was so happy for them.
I can't believe how long have we been doing a radio show and I've never heard that story?
You haven't heard that story?
I've told the story on the show many times.
No, there's no way. That's a great
no.
story.
Yeah.
And I have a perfect memory. So obviously you've never told it before.
I don't know if that's the strangest thing that I believed as a child. I also believe that as an adult, unfortunately. But I am still, every time I see him, really excited for the sloths.
That's actually kind of a fun place to be.
Just like, good for you.
Yeah.
Now, most of the time, you don't find things out that are that happy.
Yeah. Most of the time, it's
I
bad
thought
news.
that they were completely off the face of the planet, and here they are, being cute and slow.
I thought that the week between Christmas and New Year's was just a blank spot on the calendar.
When you were how old?
I don't know. I was probably...
Like just one long day?
No. Here's why this happened. Because every year, my aunt would get me a advent calendar for December. The advent calendar stops on the 25th. So I knew that after the 25th, it wasn't New Year's Day. So I thought, well, these must just be blank days on the calendar. I never saw a real calendar. I was just looking at the advent calendar.
Oh.
Did
you make it till 2016 believing that too?
No.
Okay.
I
Well,
did
good
not.
for you.
I saw a real calendar in 2015.
What about you, Brad?
Man, it's really hard for me to think of something. The one thing that kind of sticks out in my mind is I distinctly remember being little. So I had to have been 2 or less than 2 because it was my brother, my mom being pregnant with my brother, and me arguing with her about why she had a basketball under her shirt. And that I believed that my mom, like, wholeheartedly had a basketball. She's like, no, that's my belly. I was like, no, that is a basketball. Why do you have it under your shirt? And that was it.
She pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I was 2. I was waiting for, was she pregnant?
Pregnant with my brother.
Because, no, it was a soccer ball or something. I thought that was the end of the story.
All right, I got another one here. Lori wants to know, what is your favorite all-time movie?
Moulin Rouge.
Ooh, Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. Dang, 3 for 3.
Awesome, man.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
I don't think I have either.
Love it, love it, love it.
The movie is called Wet Hot American Summer.
Okay.
It is my favorite.
Part of your internet search history?
No, well, yeah, I guess so. It's one of the first
Who's in
movies
it?
from Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler, Elizabeth Banks, a whole bunch of stars, whole bunch of comedians.
Is it before they're huge stars?
It was Paul Rudd had been in Clueless, but this was one of his first big movies. So yeah, it was their first real breakout movie for all of these people, and lots of people are in it. It is a very funny movie.
Amber Warren says Princess Bride, classic. I like Spaceballs more than Princess Bride in that arena, but I love all of those movies.
Yeah, that's good stuff. How about
what's your favorite movie?
Oh, dang, and I have to answer this. I still have to go back and
That's how this
it's
works,
hard.
Brad.
It's hard for me to come up with one that's my favorite because I don't really do that sort of thing. But if I had to pick one, I think it would be Empire Strikes Back. So the second of the original trilogy of the Star Wars movies is the best one.
Can I pull up a listener question? I think this is a really good one. It's from George W. How does it feel for the first time in your life to have a presidential or vice presidential candidate younger than you are? I don't take that as a hit. I think that's a good question.
It was noteworthy to me.
Yeah.
He is, J.D. Vance is 39.
Oh, man.
He is turning 40 in August. I think maybe within the next week. He is also born in 1984. There are a ton of people who are prominent in news and politics, commentary, and so on and so forth, who were born in 1984, which is the year that I was born in. I find that minorly ironic, but it's kind of crazy. Like, you do see, I mean, you remember what it was like to be the age of the pro baseball players or the pro football players, or to be older than all of the college athletes and be like, I'm older than all those people. And then you start calling them kids. But I did pay attention to the fact that J.D. Vance is my age. That's pretty crazy.
Huh, because it did not cross my radar at all that he was younger than
even think
us
about that.
Until George asked that question.
When George asked that question, I thought he was being facetious or something. Because
I mean, maybe he is, but
no,
it doesn't
he's
read
not.
that way.
JD, it says to have a presidential or vice presidential candidate younger than you are. I've very publicly said in April I turned 40, and JD Vance is 39. He turns 40 this month, and it is something that impacted me. Like, I could, if I were qualified, become the vice president of the United States. People are entertaining the idea that would be a responsible decision.
The pro baseball player thing did hit me, and the college thing. At some point, I went, "Oh man, I'm older than the college players."
Or
now.
like Adam Wainwright, who is probably exactly your age.
Yeah,
like how senior citizen-y people would refer to him in his line
That's
of
rough.
work.
Yeah,
and Ryan, you're someday gonna hit your prime.
Oh, I've still got a lot of pitches left in this arm, but I
All
just
of them.
Haven't used the one.
Yeah, they're just sitting there not being used. But I did kind of strike me, and Adam Wainwright's a good one because we're the same age almost exactly. That, yeah, this is like everybody now is younger than me. There is no way that I could play a professional sport. Not as if I was entertaining.
Your
that.
dreams are finally
But
coming to a crashing
I finally
halt.
went, oh no, I'm done. Yeah, that's a moment though.
Yeah, I think the JD Vance thing is interesting. Any other questions? I like this one, maybe to think about for the 2:00 hour, and we'll get back to it. You can merge two animals to make a new one. What are you putting together?
I'm putting a mouse.
No.
Okay.
Don't say yet.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Bobo always hits us with all of the questions. One of these days, we'll answer the cheesecake one that somebody keeps asking every week. We don't have any answer to it. Is it a cake or a pie? I don't know.
It's just a fact-based question.
Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential campaign, yes or no? Vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Let's do Beard at the Beat when we come back.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sick of those annoying ads slowing you down online? Introducing i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with advanced whole home Wi-Fi. With speeds up to 8 gigabits, buffering is so yesterday. Our rock-solid connection keeps you streaming, gaming, and browsing without a hitch, thanks to our ad blocking feature. No contracts, no hidden fees, just pure internet bliss. And we've got a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Dial 877-976-0711 or swing by i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and committed to St. Louis.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Secret Service is making changes. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Acting Director Ronald Rowe says drones and better communications are part of the focus moving forward after the Trump assassination attempt in Pennsylvania.
We should have had better protection for the protectee. We should have had better coverage on that roof line. We should have had at least some other set of eyes from the Secret Service point of view covering that.
He also says local law enforcement agencies are not to blame for Secret Service mistakes.
This was a Secret Service failure, and so they should not be blamed. We're not trying to shift blame to anybody.
This after local pushback on some of his testimony to Congress earlier this week. Rowe says the agency has not yet interviewed local law enforcement present at the Trump rally. He also says the event was the first one to have a Secret Service counter-sniper team who killed the gunman. Just getting word that President Biden's son Hunter will be sentenced November 13th on federal gun charges. He's also facing a separate tax trial in California and is trying to have both cases dismissed. The Justice Department is suing TikTok over children's privacy.
The lawsuit accuses TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance with widespread violations of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, allowing kids under the age of 13 to sign up and view and create content without their parents' consent, and with unlawfully collecting and retaining children's email addresses and other personal information. That would be a violation of a 2019 consent decree in which TikTok agreed to stop collecting data from children and delete information it already had.
Fox's Jack Callahan. TikTok and ByteDance are suing the U.S. government over a new law requiring divestment to avoid being banned in the U.S. An hour to the close on Wall Street, the Dow's down 754 points after a weaker than expected jobs report reigniting recession fears. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah? Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast. Sunny to partly cloudy. Looks like a very nice afternoon. High today 86. Clear tonight, humid, low 72. And then sunny and warm tomorrow, the high at 91. On Sunday, mostly sunny with a high 96. And then mostly sunny, a hot day on Monday, the high 97. Partly sunny Tuesday, high 100. I'm Steve Williams for 97.1 FM Talk.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the Protecting Your Retirement Educational event, Tuesday, August 6th. It's at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Seats are limited, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned how a major market correction will affect your retirement? Would you like to have a personalized, structured income plan that shows you the monthly income you'll receive in retirement and how to never outlive it?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, August 6th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hello, Missouri. I'm Jamie Corley, a fifth-generation Missourian and conservative outsider running for Secretary of State. The swamp establishment has embarrassed our state for too long. I'll fight to protect our values, support President Trump, and bring integrity back to Missouri. Join me, Jamie Corley, in this fight for real change. Vote for a proud Missourian who will always stand up for you. Paid for by Jamie Corley from Missouri, Mary C. Walsh, Treasurer.
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com is really, really good at making sure that your HVAC system is in a position to be functioning at the best top level. The thing about your air conditioner unit, a lot of times by the time you get to the end of the season, maybe the air conditioning unit isn't working as well as it's supposed to, but you're like, gosh, it's going to be furnace time pretty soon. I'm just going to leave it alone. Make sure that you don't leave that for the next year and then you get into a situation where you are in an emergency and you need to have that HVAC system serviced and it's an emergency call versus a scheduled tune-up or whatever. They have maintenance plans at Air Comfort Service that have your system checked monthly for a very low price. That takes all the worry out of something building up in that area that you're not paying attention to, and then it becomes much more costly because you weren't paying attention to it. When you talk to Air Comfort Service about a monthly maintenance plan, they have very affordable solutions that can save you a lot of money in the long run. You can call them at 314-513-0091. Find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. There is so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer and thousands of wines. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, August 14th at the 4 Points by Sheraton, St. Louis, Fairview Heights. In Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m.
The Focus Marines Foundation is here to help veterans transition from service to civilian life, and we're here to support them. This is Mark Cox inviting you to get involved in this month's Conservatives Care effort by visiting 971talk.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart. Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're going to do a couple things in this segment to keep moving the show along. The first one is something we've been doing with Brad for quite some time now. We like to get to what we missed during the week because there's always a lot of stuff to cover. I took almost a 2-week vacation. I missed a few things.
Couple.
Most of all, I missed you. Not you, Ryan.
Oh, you were looking at me when you said it.
No, I wasn't. Intentionally. I was looking at the camera, and to the people listening, I did miss you. I missed being here, and I was very glad to be back. I was excited to get back into the studio to talk to you about everything that's been going on. But there's a lot of stuff, and it's easy to leave things behind and go, oh, my gosh, yeah, we never even talked about this.
What did I miss?
All right, so the first clip here I have is of Senator Kennedy, and he was grilling the acting director of the FBI.
Is there any doubt in your mind or in the collective mind of the FBI that President Trump was shot in the ear by a bullet fired by the assassin crooks?
Senator, there is absolutely no doubt in the FBI's mind whether former President Trump was hit with a bullet and wounded in the ear. No doubt, there never has been.
You're sure?
Yes.
It wasn't a space laser.
No.
It wasn't a murder hornet.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't Sasquatch.
Sasquatch?
No, Senator.
It was a bullet.
It was a bullet, Senator. 100%.
Fired by crooks.
Yes, sir.
That hit President Trump in the ear and almost killed him.
100%, Senator.
I think Sasquatch is the sponsor for Saucy Nugs.
Saucy Nugs, brought to you by Sasquatch.
He was out there in his little G-string.
There's a guy out
trying
there.
to sell you Saucy Nugs.
There's a guy out there.
In between the order speaker and the actual window. Like, there's still time.
There's a guy out there looking for a name for his barbecue company, and he's like, that's it! And then Annie just ruined it. This is like Sasquatch in a G-string.
Did you know that there's a person begging out here in your drive-thru? No, he's not begging for anything other than your attention.
Which apparently he has. Senator Kennedy definitely belabors the point of what actually happened and taking away, whenever they're like, it could have been shrapnel. It could have been, something that was hit by a bullet that hit him. He might not have actually been shot. You just have to throw that out there one time for the internet trolls to be able to go, well, you don't actually know. And they just put it out there, and then it ticks off everybody who has any brain cells of common sense, and it just diverts the attention. So I think Kennedy belabored the point on purpose in the way that Senator Kennedy is capable of doing. But
if we didn't have the whole thing on video with a still shot of the bullet going by his
that
ear,
picture is wild.
Yeah.
Then okay, ask some questions. But these questions are easily debunked by things that are readily available.
The thing that blows my mind is the intent on people to, like, maybe it wasn't a bullet. Like, does it matter if it hit him, if it didn't hit him?
Change?
Like,
they don't
somebody
actually
was shooting
that.
at him.
That's like not even the point of the conversation. They're just trying to get under the skin of people who are saying, like, Donald Trump took a bullet because he did.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this effort by the DNC to label Trump and
some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are. As weird and creepy as J.D. Vance. Super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. They're just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird, and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate, they're weird. Deeply and profoundly weird. They are weird.
These Republicans just being weird, it's just weird. It's really weird.
Republican weirdness goes even deeper.
He said a lot of things that are weird, a weird style that he brings, weird policies. Let's start with the weird thing, because it is a thing.
Just plain weird.
the Democrats' policy, our strategy, and I don't know if they're going to stick with it because I haven't heard anybody calling anybody weird after, like, people just looked like this isn't going to hit. But it was to call J.D. Vance weird. And I think this really took off after the cat lady comments resurfaced. And one of the things that kind of blows my mind is that there was a rally of some sort. I think it was the one that Shapiro was speaking at. There was a lady dressed herself as a cat and was like meowing at the reporter and like, I got your crazy cat lady right here. Meow, meow. And I'm like, but you're going to call us weird. I don't know. Whenever you make the weird normal, then what was once normal becomes weird. And I think that's what it is.
There's a contingency of people that get really upset when you make fun of Kamala's laugh or bring up something about her personally. But that is literally exactly what the Democrats are doing to J.D. Vance. They're trying to make it personal about him, not about policy, just about how do you feel about him. We're going to try to shape that and make it weird.
Yeah.
You got another one?
I got one more here, and this is from the white dudes for Kamala.
I'm so glad she has made freedom the theme of her campaign because I think in so many ways that's what's at stake. And yes, women's freedom is Exhibit A after Donald Trump demolished the right to choose. But of course, men are also more free in a country where we have a president who stands up for things like access to abortion care.
Yeah, I've been saying.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're coming out and saying it.
Yeah.
Nothing like completely and totally consequence-free sex for both men and women. And now, men, you can get your non-committal woman pregnant and give her $300, and you are completely off the hook. The baby, on the other hand, on the hook.
Yep.
Thanks for saying it. Was that Pete Buttigieg?
That was Pete Buttigieg, Mayor Pete.
Yeah. You ready to do the B?
Ready.
I think they're ready for the B. Let's go. Play the sound.
The B or not the B.
These are, of course, a bunch of headlines. Some of them are real headlines. Some of them are from the Babylon Bee, which would be satire. You got to tell me which ones are which. First, Donald Trump will destroy democracy, says party nominating candidate no one voted for.
That's the B.
Yeah, it's the B. Oh, yeah, if Trump gets in the White House, it's all over, stated Gail Quimble, a staffer for Kamala Harris. That's why we hand-selected a very special candidate outside the democratic process in order to beat him. Democracy itself depends on it. When reached for response, Kamala Harris said, democracy is important. America is a democracy. It begins with a D, just like donut.
Ends with anocracy.
We have to break democracy in order to save it. Ha 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 ha.
There's that cackle.
If that comes up in an article, you know it's the B. That is what they always do at the end of her quotes. Ha 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 ha. Next one. Did you mean donate to Kamala Harris? Google asks user searching for info on Trump.
I think that's real.
Oh, man, I know that's a real story, but the headline could be the B.
If you were to search Trump rally, it would show you results for Kamala Harris rallies.
Yeah.
So that story is true. Is this the B version? I'm going to say it's real.
This is the B version. Yeah. Yeah, because it's based on a lot of truth, though. Local internet surfer Dean Chamberlain was confused Monday after his Google search for Donate to Trump campaign presented results for Donate to Kamala Harris. Quote, did you mean donate to Kamala Harris because she's great? Google prompted the user. Confused, he went straight to Google support, but that didn't help either. Quote, having trouble finding out how to donate to Kamala Harris? A Google automated system asked him. Here are 3 relevant links to help you. All right, next story.
Sad because it's true.
Yeah, it's actually very close to the truth. Massachusetts replaces mother with person who gave birth.
Massachusetts.
I'm going to say real.
A blue state that elects Republican governors. No, that's Maryland.
That is Maryland.
Okay, the other M word up there. Hey, they can't identify Midwestern states, so leave me alone.
Wasn't Romney the governor of Massachusetts for a while, though?
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
But right now, Hogan.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
That's Maryland.
I don't know. Real? I don't know. I don't know why this would be a fake story.
I think this is real.
Yeah, it is real.
Good
House
grief.
Bill 4750, which is said to ensure legal equality for parents, would update the state's general and gender laws establishing parentage, custody support. State House members passed the bill, listen to this, 156-0, before the state Senate approved it 40-0, replacing mother with person who gave birth.
So who's served by this?
I'm not sure.
And it replaces it for what?
For birth certificates. Person who gave birth, and then I can't remember what they said they were going to do for father, because I read several stories on this. But yeah, it's all over the place. It is real, and it's going to pass. I mean, it's on the governor's desk, so they will remove mother and father from birth certificates.
Oh, you guys feel like heroes?
Well, they've finally done it.
I don't really in my mind see the pendulum swinging back to common sense on these things. I don't, are our kids going to be like, you remember when our parents wouldn't even call mom mother? Like, that is outrageous. I don't feel like this is something that comes back to where we get, I feel like this is lost. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when you see that nobody voted against it, you're like, okay, I guess I couldn't find anything other than they said, well, it's confusing if you have a same-sex couple, which one you call the mom. So we wanted to put which one gave birth. I'm like, okay, but you've been doing it for 20 years, so.
Can't you call them both mom?
I think so, but I don't know if it maybe has something to do with custody, maybe in the future. That's the only thing I could come up with from reading it.
I don't know.
Sodom and Gomorrah is set to host the 2028 Olympics.
I'm just...
You're assuming.
I'm assuming.
I didn't say that it was the B
hold
yet.
on. Real.
According to sources, the Olympic Committee has sought to ensure that fun games between nations meant to promote peace and friendship also destroy the innocence of any viewers. Quote, if you're not sexualizing someone who's just trying to watch his country's swim team, what are you even doing? Asked marketing chair Steph Reginald.
Marketing director who?
Steph Reginald. It might be Reginald. Not sure. Next story.
It might be Reginois.
It is France. Free Palestine singer Kalani also wants to free Hawaii.
From whom? Us?
I mean, these are good questions,
I've
but
been planning to go to Hawaii for a year. In a year.
Uh-huh.
Are we in trouble?
Well,
am I on the good side or the bad side?
You might want to ask her.
I presume I'm on the bad side.
Because this is a real story. According to R&B singer Kalani, who used her platform on NPR to push a lot of radical policies, Hawaii and Guam are now under assault.
From whom?
The self-defined Queers for Palestine advocate did not address who was oppressing Hawaii or Guam.
We don't even need to have an oppressor anymore. Just know that you're oppressed. Trust me.
That's.
Hey, guess what? I feel oppressed. And I don't feel comfortable naming names.
Well, hopefully by the time you get to Hawaii, this issue's been resolved.
Yeah.
Because
worse.
somebody is really oppressing
By
Hawaii.
then, they might even be able to identify the oppressor. It'll probably be me. What's going on in June of 2025?
Marchers with the Hawaii flag as Annie gets off the plane. It's like, go back to America.
Maybe you shouldn't go. Plausible deniability.
I'm going.
No, you shouldn't, because then you can say, I've never even been to Hawaii. How could I oppress Hawaii?
I don't think that's a requirement.
No.
I don't think I don't think their rules. They'd be like, well, you've got a good point there, and they would just
They'd back
completely
off
drop it.
based on that solid logic.
I will be taking time off in June of next year. Just a heads up to everybody for when the biggest news week of 2025 will happen.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be in June, and for all the people who say I take off all the time, that's like I have Christmas, and then June. Those are my days.
Well, hopefully we will know who the next president is by then. If
Maybe
we're
not.
still counting by then.
Maybe not.
Oh, man.
We're still waiting to find out who Hawaii went for. That's why I'm going there.
Americans thankful that socialist rigging elections only happens in Venezuela. According to numerous U.S. citizens, socialists cheating in elections and undercutting the will of the people is an unimaginable abomination. Over 98% of Americans polled say they are incredibly grateful that it could never happen in America. Oh yeah, it's absolutely tragic what's going on down there, said Steve McGannon, an American citizen. I'm so glad we live in a country where socialists would never dare to steal elections. I mean, imagine if one of our political parties were to harvest ballots, insist on non-citizens voting, use underhanded methods to secure an election, and brand anyone questioning voting integrity an extreme conspiracy theorist, all in the name of safe and secure elections.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah. The reason why the bee hits it on the nail on the head so often is because they're so close to the truth. They just say it with their tongue in their cheek. All right, let's take a quick break. Don't forget to vote in the YouTube live chat poll for today. Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential campaign? We'll be right back.
Early in the morning, just for me.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Just for me. Oh, she loves me so tenderly. I got a woman way over town that's good to me.
Drugs, illegal immigration, crime. There's no law and order, and a crisis at the border. That's the Joe Biden record. But here in Jefferson County, Sheriff Dave Marshak isn't having any of it. Unlike the hug-a-thug policies of St. Louis, in Jefferson County, Dave Marshak puts criminals behind bars where they belong. Instead of allowing the insane to fund the police movement to win, he's hiring more cops with better pay and actually backing the blue. Illegal immigrants and cartel drugs? Not in Jeffco, amigo. Sheriff Dave Marshak's plan is simple, and it's working. In Jefferson County, crime is down, and Jeffco families are safe.
I'm Sheriff Dave Marshak. Unlike Joe Biden as your Jefferson County Sheriff, we're putting more cops on the street. We're enforcing the law and punishing criminals, and we're sending Mexican drugs back where they belong. On August 6th, vote Sheriff Dave Marshak for Jefferson County Sheriff to keep Jefferson County safe.
Paid for by Dave Marshak Election Committee. Mike Pruno, Treasurer.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
I'm Robert Cornejo. It is an honor to serve as judge for St. Charles County, the community that I am proud to be raising my family in. In my courtroom, I follow the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm not here to legislate from the bench. I'm here to ensure justice is carried out efficiently and fairly. My number one priority as a judge is to make sure this is a safe community for families like mine.
Robert Cornejo served in the Missouri House, where he defended the sanctity of life, prevented illegal immigrants from receiving taxpayer-subsidized tuition, fought against big government, and strengthened our Second Amendment rights. Judge Robert Cornejo is endorsed by the St. Louis County Police Association and Eastern Missouri Coalition of Police for his work to keep St. Charles County safe. Judge Cornejo also has the support of local firefighters.
When you cast your vote, I hope that you will allow me, Judge Robert Cornejo, to be the next circuit judge for St. Charles County.
Paid for by friends of Robert Cornejo. Allison Onder, Treasurer.
Supporting your nutrition should be easy. That's why we created the Neovitin Women's Multivitamin monthly subscription. Get your daily Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered directly to your door every month. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time with no long-term obligations. With B vitamins to support energy, vitamin D for bone support, and our physician-formulated proprietary blend, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is here to support your nutrition every day. Start supporting your nutrition and sign up for a monthly Neovitin Women's Multivitamin subscription today at neovitin.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. For a limited time, save $55 off a new water heater. Air Comfort Service not only installs attic insulation and HVAC systems, they also install water heaters. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The minds and voices that shape America.
This is Brian Kilmeade here on St. Louis's home for Conservative Talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
You know what I think the theme is? Keep it here.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk St. Louis.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The Huffington Post, where I go for all of my useless content for the show.
I love Huffington Post.
What do you love about it?
I think I just...
Did you finish your oatmeal cream pie?
I just did.
Do you need a little more time?
I clean it out of my teeth while I'm talking. I think I just really enjoy seeing spin. Because it's just constant. It's kind of fun.
I'm sure that there are plenty of things that we read on a regular basis that the left would say about sources that... But you can read the Huffington Post and pick out, this seems to be factual. This is what they feel about it.
Oh, yeah.
5 summer activities ER doctors wouldn't let their own kids do. You think about things that we did as kids. We grew up in the 80s and the 90s. That we did as kids. It is an entirely different reality than our children will ever know. Do your kids get bored?
Yeah, they do.
Do they complain about it?
Yeah. Although they've got each other, just like your kids probably do, so they don't get bored as much, I think,
that's just
as
when
if
they
they were.
Hate on each other even more.
They get into fights over the summer.
It's not like they're like, gosh, we're bored. Let's spend time together.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of the summer. What do you tell them if they're like, Dad, I'm bored?
I say, oh, okay, you want me to throw your toys away? Because clearly you're not using those.
Let's get rid of that. Is that what you really say?
That's actually what I say.
Yeah.
And then they know not to ask me that question because I'll do it.
Yeah.
There's so much for them to do. And I'll make a couple suggestions sometimes, but it is at this point in the summer when it gets the worst because they've been together for the whole, 2.5 months roughly. They're starting to wear on each other a little bit. They get along pretty well, but they great, especially the boys.
What did a standard summer day look for you guys when you were a kid?
Ooh, good question. I know that I used to play with the neighborhood kids a lot, and we invented games a lot outside. And one of them was called bike ball, where one kid had a ball and was on foot, and everybody else had bikes. And if you were on a bike, you couldn't ride through yards, but if you were on foot, you could run through people's yards.
What was the point?
You threw the ball and you hit somebody's bike, and if you hit them, they were it, and you had to switch, and you got their bike.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Did summer feel like it went on forever when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
But like in a good way.
Yeah. I was never like, I cannot wait for school to start, ever. But there was an excitement and a little nervousness that would come with the next school year setting in. And I went to a Lutheran school in grade school, and so you kind of knew what you were getting back into.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you went through the public school system, you were in new schools more frequently. I was in the same school from the time I was in 3-year-old preschool at a Lutheran school through 8th grade. With, the kids, I just went was it this past weekend? Yeah, it was this past weekend to one of my dearest friend's houses. He just bought a house on a lake, and he had people over, and he was cooking ribs and stuff, and I hung out with him, and I've known him since 3-year-old preschool, and one of my other really dear friends who I've known since 5th grade. We just went to school together. So it'd be kind of cool to go back and see those people because you knew everybody. But I guess in a public school situation, it might be a little more nerve-wracking.
Did you ever do anything really embarrassing first day of school?
Not that I recall, but you should tell your story.
Oh, I did.
The look on your face was like, do you have a story like mine? Let's hear yours first.
I bet I can top it.
You got one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, then let me go first because I bet yours is really good. I walked into a room, and when you're in public school, Collinsville High School had
Set the age.
15.
High school.
Yeah. Multiple levels of classes, so lots and lots of rooms. So I walked into a room and sat down, and I said to a friend, another guy I've known since I was 3 years old, I still see him once in a while. I sat down to him. I said, "Hey, Stolarski, I didn't know you were in this class." And he's like, "Yeah." I looked around, and I'm like, "Man, I didn't know any of these people were in this class."
You were in the wrong class.
And then the teacher walks in, and I'm like, "I didn't know that guy was teaching this class." And then it dawned on me finally, after he started to take roll call, that I might be in the wrong room.
So you walk of shame out of the room.
So the walkout was tough because I realized it, and then it was, okay, now how do I tell all these people that I've realized it without looking like a fool?
Don't you just have to own it?
Yeah, you do. And I did.
And then you got to run the risk of not trying to make it too funny.
I think what I did was I stood up and I was like, shoot, Stolarski, it looks like it's, I got to go to my class now.
Yeah.
Good catching up with you, though.
Thanks for inviting me in here.
Yeah.
Good to see you, too.
Yeah. Finger guns to the teacher, and then I was out of there. Yeah. So
What's
go
your
ahead.
embarrassing
Okay. So when you asked what did your summer look like, it made me realize that my childhood has a very distinct divide. In the middle of my 7th grade year, we moved from my home in Millstadt to where my parents currently live in Freeburg. And so this isn't a back to school after the summer. This is my first day at a brand new school with brand new kids, brand new everybody, whenever my first day in Freeburg was. And so I was going through super nervous, middle of the 7th grade year, didn't know anybody. Made it through the first half of the day, went to lunch. They had what was it, chimichangas type thing for lunch. And I got back to class for math class, for my first day in this math class with Mr. Schultz. And I sat down. I was kind of in the middle of the room, like dead center was where my desk was. And I'm sitting there, and because it was that type of food, my stomach started bubbling. And Annie, you wouldn't know what this is like, but Ryan, you know how, like, when you have a fart building up, I'm going, oh no, oh no, oh no. And so he was like, if I just sit here, maybe it'll just kind of sneak out and it won't be loud or anything like that. And as soon as I thought that, I knocked my pencil onto the floor. And I looked over and I was like, oh no. So I leaned over, and as soon as I reached
Why would you lean over?
because I had to get my pencil.
No, you leave it. It's dead. It's gone. It's in the lava,
But
man.
it was in the middle of a lesson, and I was nervous, and
It's in the lava.
I went to pick it up, and as soon as my fingers touched that pencil, I lost the control.
No.
And I farted the loudest fart I've ever farted in my entire life, and everything stopped. The world stopped.
My stomach hurts right now, too.
This is your first day in a new school? And you're what,
seventh
7th grade? That's the worst year,
It's the worst year. And the kid that was sitting to my right, because I had to lean over to my left to pick up the pencil, was also one of the class clowns. So he's all over there. I look up, the teacher's face turns beet red. So, if you get the teacher and he starts laughing, you're in trouble. So the whole class started laughing. I look over at the class clown, and he's sitting there with his hands up like, whoa, you almost knocked me out of my chair.
Oh my gosh, Brad, I'm so happy you're okay telling this story.
Yeah,
Brad,
well, all you could do is laugh at it, because otherwise
did you do?
I laughed and died in the inside.
Did you ever recover from that in your life?
Never recovered.
Still not?
Nope. I was doing fine until I told you guys about it. Now I'm
yeah,
done.
you would almost recreate it.
It's been wonderful being on the show. I'm going to go outside and die now.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Yeah, yours is better than mine. And I had a feeling when you said that. I'm like, man, if something came to mind that fast, then it must be pretty bad.
There's no professional obligation to share that story whatsoever.
No, there is not. No, seriously, did people find out about it outside of the class?
Oh, yeah, I was legendary.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
It's like, hey, you're that new kid that farted in Mr. Schultz's class, aren't you?
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Man, a fart in class can do that, though. It can really change your trajectory.
Yeah.
Was socially among your peers or mixed company, even if you had mixed company in your peer group, was there ever a time growing up where it was just socially accepted, like everybody understood everybody farts and there's just farting happening?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With mixed company?
Oh, well, I don't know about mixed company.
No.
I guess it would depend on what you described as mixed company, but
First of all, I have never in my lifetime lived in a world where girls ever did that in front of each other and just like accepted it. But there is a generational thing that has happened where they're not as ashamed of it as.
I tell you what was weird is we tried to pitch a TV show as a cooking show. We tried to do a cooking show.
Can't wait to hear how this fits.
With this girl named Penny.
Uh-huh.
And she was very charismatic and she was a good cook and she was just great for a show. So we did a pilot with her. And she, like, from day one would just be like, hey, is it cool if I fart? And we were like, well, I guess, no.
What? How do you?
Or yes, it is. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to tell you you cannot fart. So she's like, okay. And she would just let him go, man. And that show never got picked up, and I still don't know why.
I gotta pee so bad right now. It's not even funny. Oh my gosh.
That was all off air, though. So the show not getting picked up didn't have to do with the farting.
I would blame it.
That's what I
I'd
still
blame
do.
the gas.
Like, yeah.
Well, the whole point of this was I was supposed.
She melted the tapes we sent.
Remember when we started this with the Huff Post?
Oh yeah, there was a story there.
Didn't see this coming. Couldn't have possibly planned it. Couldn't have made it better.
Oh man, Brad. I don't want to look at you differently now.
Don't.
Okay. You can't. You got to give him respect for having enough confidence to tell the story.
Oh yeah, I guess I do.
Just like when I told my story about falling down the bleachers.
Yeah.
And then you guys, both of you had falling stories, of which yours was funny, but Brad's was it's going to be a long-lasting, epic part of the Annie Fry Show lore.
People in my personal life told me about Brad's story and said, wow, that you guys told him in order.
Yeah.
that was the right order.
It was all supposed to be about me. Like, 1 week I flew with the Blue Angels. The next week I went careening down in slow motion bleachers in front of all of Charlie's new high school friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you guys were laughing at me. And then we went to a break and you're like, we have more embarrassing stories. I'm like, why are you telling me this off air? You're telling them when we come back, and you did.
It took a minute. That stuff happens in your life, and you kind of try to block it out.
There are people listening right now who have stories that are as embarrassing, if not more embarrassing, than Brad. I bet you more than 50% of the people listening are thinking of their own story and feeling empathetic right now.
Yeah, use it to bring joy to people's life.
Everybody's been in that situation.
Joy in my life.
Did the story end the same way is the question. I mean, just the situation. Day one. New school, 7th grade. I mean, that sounds like somebody made it up in She's All That or something. Some random high school.
The story of him falling down in the theater was his very first date ever.
Brad, you really got a track record here. That's incredible.
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you the 5 summer activities ER doctors wouldn't let their own kids do when we come back, probably in a hurry, because I can't sully this conversation right now with factual content from the Huffington Post. We'll give you the results of the YouTube poll, which, if you haven't voted in yet, you need to go do right now. Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race, yes or no? We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Easy to remember phone number. Or go online today at 877-25RHINO.com.
Who can Missouri Republicans trust to crack down on illegal immigration and communist China? Not Jay Ashcroft. Jay Ashcroft championed a bill that allowed China to buy Missouri farmland and other property near our military bases. Ashcroft took thousands of dollars of travel from liberal groups, including one that pushed amnesty for illegal immigrants. It gets worse. Jay Ashcroft turned his back on America's veterans and opposed providing vets with any benefits at all, including discounts on hunting licenses and prescription drugs. Jay Ashcroft allowed China to buy our farmland. He vacationed with amnesty-loving liberals, and Ashcroft stiffed America's veterans. There's a better choice. As Missouri's governor, Mike Kehoe will stand with President Trump to crack down on China, secure our border, and honor our veterans. Mike Kehoe is the conservative we can trust.
Cops for Kehoe is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Cops for Kehoe, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-90000.
There's Mike Kehoe's campaign bus that's owned by a Chinese lobbyist. Swampy Kehoe is hitching a ride after voting 4 times to sell Missouri farmland to China. Luckily, Trump-endorsed conservative Jay Ashcroft is tough on China. He led the charge to stop China from buying our farms. Call and thank Ashcroft for being China's worst enemy. 573-751-4936. Paid for by Stand for US PAC. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUS.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential race? Yes or no? It's today's YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. We're about to give you the results, but you can still get your vote in if you do so right now. 2:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. The Secret Service just held a briefing with some updates on what happened a few weeks ago during the assassination attempt. We'll have the very latest on that. Plus, a Reardon Roundtable kicks off just after 3 o'clock. Jane Duker, Jeff Rainford, David Barklage. It's a pre-primary day Reardon Roundtable just around the corner.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Yesterday we were talking to our boss, and he was like, "You should make sure that you stay on topic."
Man, I've been thinking about that all day.
Got to make sure you do the red meat.
The red meat.
Yeah, man, there's so much in the news. You guys really need to hit that news. Is it okay, though, if we just veer off and talk about farting?
Is there a day game today or something?
Let's just assume there is.
Oh, my gosh, you boys. This is a high-class establishment. And here we are.
It was until Brad got here.
Oh, yeah, Brad's the one who's not classing it up. We're going to we had a question from Bobo earlier. It said if you could combine two animals, what would you combine?
Yeah.
Ethan came in and said he'd like to combine a penguin and a giraffe.
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah, I would do a Great Dane and a Chihuahua as long as the Great Dane was the male.
You psychopath.
I think you took this in a different... I don't think that we were really talking about, like, the process, but more about the visual of the final
I was
product.
talking about the visual.
Yeah, I know. Do you have one?
Yeah, I want to take your animal that you thought was extinct, a sloth, and I want to combine it with a cheetah.
That's what I was going to do.
No way, really?
I was going to say like a leopard or something fast.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wanted to take something really slow and combine it with something really fast. So
Would it be funnier if sloths were fast or if cheetahs were super slow?
Sloths were fast.
Sloths were fast.
Yeah, sloths
For
were
sure.
fast.
Like, but just one.
Yeah, you just found one that's
going
a
around
genetic anomaly.
bragging in all the sloth
wow,
friends.
That thing is super fast. And not just fast for a sloth, like really fast.
Huffington Post did an article that said 5 summer activities ER doctors wouldn't let their own kids do. We started a conversation in the last segment about what it was like in the 80s and the 90s when we were growing up. Summers were just kind of a blank slate to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was school's out, a vacation somewhere in there of some sort, maybe a big vacation, maybe a small vacation. And then summer was over and school was back in. And everything else in between was begging to go to a pool, running around outside in the heat, cicadas firing up in the evening, bicycles.
Snipe hunts,
Very successful snipe hunts, having friends, having sleepovers, sleeping over at other places. Like just blank slate of all of that. Summer now for kids is scheduled almost every hour, every day, full of junk. I think it's one of the worst things that our generation is doing to our kids.
Yeah, that just sounds
Well,
lame.
it's harder because you can't just say, hey, go play as easily. Maybe in your yard, but you can't say, hey, 2 blocks down is the Johnsons. Go play down there because you just can't let go like that.
If everybody did it, you could.
I guess
mean,
so.
you can't say that because the Johnsons are at a baseball tournament. And
Yeah.
the Robinsons are at a soccer tournament.
Yeah, I guess so. If everybody did it, it would be different. But yeah, it's just hard to do. It's a different day and age now.
When we were growing up, though, families knew a little bit more about the families that were involved. Parents don't. I know a lot about the families that we go to the baseball tournaments with, and I'm criticizing parents who are on the field or the court or whatever all the time. That's my family. Like that's what we're doing too. With my husband, we've tried to reflect a lot and think about, my son is 14. He'll be 15 in December. So the summer youth baseball thing is sort of a thing of a past. What's next is a little bit different. But how we handle the summers and the childhood for my daughters, especially the younger two, is likely going to look a lot different than what we did before. And it's not a boy-girl thing.
No, it's an era.
It's just we are going to prioritize. I'm going to make sure that my kids have a childhood. And I think that is something that I wish I would have. I don't know that I screwed it up, but I feel like we're always teetering on the line about prioritizing the wrong things. The first thing an ER doctor wouldn't let their own kids do, swim or be near water without careful supervision. I'm pretty militant about this. My parents have a pool, so there is a lot of supervision. But I've been around situations where I've noticed a lack of supervision, and it kind of shocks me.
Well, especially around a pool. That's one area where I don't think it's wise to just say, yeah, go play. You do. Although we would do that when we were kids, too.
Yeah.
My neighbors had a pool, and we would just run up there and go swim at their house with them, and nobody was watching us.
Ride a bike without a helmet. I never, ever wore a helmet when I was a kid.
No, me either. I think you would have been made fun of if you did.
Yeah.
So nobody did.
It's kind of nerd. I mean, but people didn't do it.
Nobody, yeah.
Like, I guess you'd have gone to Walmart and get one. Did you?
You know what?
Did you wear a helmet, Brad?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, I grew up in the country, dude.
But I mean, I would never let my kids go on a long bike ride right now without wearing a helmet. That's obvious.
Yeah. I wonder if the older they get to, the more because we're remembering more when we're probably a little older than, my youngest is 7 right now, and we don't let him ride without one. But I think by the time I'm 14 is when I'm really remembering that more than when I was really little.
I don't know what that means.
Well, it's probably more dangerous for a little kid to ride without one because they're less sturdy.
No.
Whereas when you're older, you're a little more sturdy on the bike.
No. Yeah, when you're older, you're probably going farther and faster. You're potentially in an area where you could have a accident with something else. I wouldn't need it all to be sold on the idea of putting a helmet on my kids no matter what, but it is wild how obvious it is now versus it wasn't even in the picture when we were growing up. Number 3, use, ride, or play near a lawnmower. When did you cut your first lawn?
Teenager, 12, 13, something like that.
Your lawn?
Yeah.
Push or riding?
Push.
Mine was a riding lawnmower, and it was probably 10 or 11.
The HuffPost article says each year 10,000 kids are injured by lawnmowers, and mower-related injuries are the most common cause of major limb loss in American kids under the age of 10. Children should not ride on a lawnmower even with an adult, nor should they play outside while an adult is operating a mower. My husband was cutting the grass. We have a riding lawnmower, nothing fancy. We don't have a huge yard. And something like it, you know how the blades hit something, it shoots it across. I mean, it could literally kill you. And it whizzed by somebody who was not even really that close to it. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me sick to think about it.
Yeah. Although I let my youngest, he always wants to ride on the mower with me, and I always let him do it.
Do you have a completely flat yard?
It's pretty flat. There are some hills. Well, I cut my neighbor's yard too. There's a hill between them.
Per the American Academy of Pediatrics, kids can use a walk-behind mower beginning at age 12 and operate a ride-on mower at age 16, quote, if they show good judgment, maturity, strength, and coordination. I have not felt comfortable. We have a walkout basement, so we have a big hill that goes, it's a hill. It's a definite hill. I just don't feel comfortable letting him do it.
Yeah.
And I just think I don't need him to do it, so he hasn't done it yet. Number 4, play outside when it's really, really hot. I don't really remember parents ever being like, you need to come inside, it's hot, ever. It's kind of like up to us to be smart enough to figure that out. I don't know.
My parents never even really turned the air conditioning on. We just opened the windows.
You went outside because it was hot.
Yeah.
I remember the phrase, close the door or you're going to cool the whole neighborhood a lot.
It's probably why my parents didn't turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah, maybe.
And then number 5 is ride an ATV. You guys do ATVs?
One time when I was a teenager. Never done it since.
Yeah, all the time.
Ethan, what's up? What's Ethan got over there?
So
someone brought some ice cream.
Ice cream?
Yeah, so Rick, Quick Rick from our chat had been messaging me, and he's like, hey, I'm going to bring some ice cream for you guys, and so he dropped it off today.
If there was an ice cream that was ever meant for Ryan Wiggins, it's this.
Is it nutty?
Oatmeal cream pie.
Oh my gosh. Good thing I just gave you an oatmeal cream pie.
Yeah, he brought the good stuff too.
Rick, thank you. That was nice. It's Bluebell ice cream too.
Yeah.
That's not the cheap stuff.
No, it's not.
Ryan's probably never tasted that before.
Yeah, I always eat just the store brands.
Buttered pecan.
And I do it while I'm in the store.
That's probably for me.
Alrighty, you guys scored
Thank
on
you,
a Friday.
Rick. Man, we have the best listeners.
Yeah, we do.
All right, John and Marcellus, if you're out there and listening and you haven't reached out to me, AnnieFryShow@gmail.com, or you can go to the AnnieFryShow.com website and contact me directly through there. I would love to have an in-studio panel with you guys where we can talk to you, we can learn from you, and have that open conversation. The YouTube live chat poll for today, with almost 300 votes, is Kamala Harris's race an important topic in the presidential campaign? 60% say no. So a majority are saying, nah, that's not it. Thank you for listening today. Mark Reardon is coming up next here on St. Louis's home for Conservative Talk. We're so glad to be here with you. Don't go away. Mark Reardon, next.
Joe Biden and the radical left opened our borders. They sent border wall materials to the scrapyard and let in more than 7 million illegal immigrants. Why? They think they're importing future Democrat voters, changing our elections forever. Mary Elizabeth Coleman is fighting back. She's a conservative mom on a mission, running for Secretary of State to save the integrity of our elections. Here's Mary Elizabeth Coleman.
There are 77,000 illegals in Missouri. This isn't just an invasion, it's an occupation. I'm Mary Elizabeth Coleman, and I'm running for Secretary of State to save the sanctity of your vote and mine. I'll fight election fraud and ballot harvesting, and I will never let illegal immigrants dilute your vote. And I will stand up to the woke radicals who want to censor our speech, persecute people of faith, and repeal our Second Amendment rights. I'm Mary Elizabeth Coleman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of Mary Elizabeth Coleman.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement